We're live. ZT is in the building. What's up, ZT? Welcome in to the stream. How are y'all feeling today? Welcome in. Menino's in the building. Big Rec, thank y'all so much for tapping in. I appreciate y'all joining. Welcome in, Eric's in the building. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. James is in the building as well. James, thank you so much for tapping into the stream. I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome in. If y'all are coming in on TikTok, let me know where y'all are coming from. Twisted Snow White, welcome in. Tep is in the building. What's up, Tep? If y'all are coming in for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, talk to me about the kind of music that you make, how long you've made it, stuff like that. I'm going to get a couple things refreshed on my end, and then we'll get rolling. Devin's in the building. What's up, Devin? We'll get rolling with some music here in just a couple minutes. Silex, good to see you, brother. Welcome in to the stream. Welcome in. Let's get some things flowing. Derek Bennett Music. I have already got you on the board. You're up and you're ready to go. Appreciate you so much. Let me double check a few things. There we go. Libby's in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live, repost the live, and we'll get flowing here in just a moment. Don't forget to send your harmony for the day. It does really help out the live stream. I just make stuff up. Only played acoustic piano and guitar until my buddy gave me a synth. Oh, you're talking my language. James. What synth did your buddy give you? Talk to me. Jesse's in the building. No Hook, welcome in as well. Thank y'all so much for joining the stream. Synths are my favorite instruments in the whole world. Nick is in the building. What's up, Nick? Welcome in. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Keep sharing out the live. Yamaha CS and the DS. Was it the because there's two very different worlds. So there's the what's up, Jesse? Welcome in. D-Tunes, appreciate you tapping in as well. Welcome in. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on these messages here. Hold on. Hold on. I need to refresh this. Give me 1 second. Cornick, everything's at the link in my bio, and I'll explain everything in just a second. There we go. Okay, I think I've got this refreshed just for a second. Okay, so but that's what I was going to ask, because I go, hold on, what am I doing? I was curious if it was, either one of the like old like refaces. They have like the DX, their FM reface. There's like a SY, there's a CS or something like that. And then there's like the $90,000 original CS80s and stuff like. Oh, the reface, dude, beautiful. Those are great. I think I've been in your live once. I remember you. Well, thank you for tapping back in. I appreciate you joining the stream again. The refaces are TJ's in the building. What's up, TJ? The vibes are good, man. We just hopped on. Cornick, thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate that a lot. Nick and Libby, thank y'all for the heart me's as well. I appreciate it. Daniel's back in the building. What's up, Daniel? Welcome into the stream. Appreciate you tapping. Yeah, the refaces are great. I have contemplated getting the reface. Is it the CP? I think it's the CP. It's kind of like their Rhodes Wurlitzer kind of little EP. The only thing that I don't like about them is the mini keys. But I already have, other synths that have mini keys. But they are great little, for $400, $500, kind of in that space. They're a fantastic little thing. I don't mind it one bit. What I would potentially do is get a CP, a Yamaha Reface CP, for the electric pianos and Wurlitzer and Rhodes and stuff like that, and then just run MIDI from my controller, which has full size semi-weighted keys, and that way I can still get the full effect of being able to have like chords and stuff like that, and not feel like I'm limited to the mini keys. Like I have a Korg mini log in the back. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, no, you can't actually. It's on the other wall. But I have a mini log in the back that also has mini keys, and that's fine for like some of the synth stuff, some of the lead stuff. But it is kind of limiting sometimes. I prefer full size keys. I've been playing piano forever, kind of like you were saying. I've been playing piano since I was 6 years old. So I'm obviously used to full size keys, and I do like it. But yeah, I mean, just get a mini controller, and then you can just use those as a almost like a hub, a dock of different sounds. Just have a little rack with a bunch of refaces, and then run MIDI and different channels to it, and you can just switch between the different ones. Derek is in the building. What's up, Derek? Derek, I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome into the stream. I, of course, already have you up on the board ready to go. Let me double check just a few things. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second here. Let me update a few things. And then we will get rolling. Everything's at the link on my bio. If y'all are curious, we'll get rolling here in a second. I will explain the whole structure of the live stream. I just need to edit something here real fast. Give me just a moment. Just a moment. Let's see. One moment, y'all. One moment. Let me see if this will work. Let me see if this will work. Okay. Just so y'all know, I can't see the chat right now. I have a screen popped up trying to find something. As soon as I close it, I'll get back to some questions and stuff like that. But I currently cannot see the chat, so don't say anything crazy. I'm just kidding. All right, let me see. Why is there so many things here? That's too hard to find. Let's see. One second. Thanks for hanging out today, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. If y'all are coming in for the first time, just do me a favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live. We'll get rolling here in just a second. I'm just catching up on some things here, getting one little detail organized before we get rolling, because there's too much going on here. I don't know. Dizzy's in the building. What's up, Dizzy? Derek, I see you over there as well. Jordo's in the building. What's up, Jordo? I see you on the purple app. Welcome in. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. I don't know why this one little thing is not working for me. Okay. All right. I'm good. I should be set, ready to go. Y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping in. I'm going to catch up on just a couple questions before we get things rolling here. Tep, I got you. We got Tep in the building. Johnny Blue Skies, I got you as well. Jordo Remix, I see you in there. If you would like to submit music, everything's at the link in my bio. If you want to get into the 2-minute listen cap free line, or if you would like to get into the detailed long form, really nuanced consultations, we're going to be getting those moving here in just a moment as well. If you would like to see the line, everything's at the same space. Same space that you sent in your music is the same place that you can see your line as well. You know, 10, you're on there, Tep. That's not next. It's not next right now. But that's obviously, of course, enough to get you on the board right there. Let me double check and let me refresh this over here really quick. I'm going to send this message really quick. Let me switch here really quick. You have to join the queue. Tell me what's not letting you join the queue, and I can try to address that. Jordo, good to see you, Jordo. I appreciate you tapping in, man. I'm tapping my PC. Does it help? Dizzy over in the purple app. I don't know. We'll find out, man. We'll find it, man. I appreciate you. Quite literally tapping in. Y'all, thank y'all so much for hopping in over on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube right now. We're gonna get rolling with the music here in just a second. I'm gonna refresh just a few things here, and then we'll get rolling. Dizzy, there is a free line. The free line is a 2-minute max. We'll listen to a song for up to 2 minutes, and we'll give just a quick note at the end of it, and then move on. The full consultations, the 20 to 30-minute detailed listens, are where the paid line starts. For you page all the time. Tep, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad the algorithm's doing something. I'm glad it's doing something. Okay. Okay, one moment, y'all. Sorry, I feel like I'm adjusting things every time I get on here. Same place, Dizzy, same place. Exclamation point submit is right there. Exclamation point submit is the same place over on the purple app. Okay, hold on one moment. Sometimes TikTok randomly changes things on me, and I got to figure out where different things are when they like update their app on this end. So let's see. All right, hold on one second. I feel like I'm always doing a million things. Okay, that'll work. That's fine. Okay, Liz, I just saw yours at the bottom right there. Absolutely. I would say the vast outside of Last Live, for whatever reason, Last Live, like 8 out of 10 people were released songs. But a lot of people send in unreleased music, works in progress, early demos, stuff like that. So you never have to feel like you need to you need to show up with everything like completely polished. A lot of people, because of the structure of the consultations that we do, a lot of people specifically are sending in like early records to kind of get a final listen before they send it out to distribution or to their engineer, or before they start working through the mix process, stuff like that. Okay, refresh over here. Sorry, I'm working through a couple quick updates here while I'm waiting to get things rolling here. Tristan, appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream. I submitted one of my weird loops. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna get things rolling here, y'all. Thank you, G. I appreciate you, man. It's so good to see you, man. It's so good to see you in here. I appreciate you tapping in. All right, Frankie J. I can't see from this. Frankie J. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. For those of you coming in for the first time, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. I appreciate y'all joining the stream today. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be on for probably about 3 hours or so. Liz, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that so much. For those of you who don't know what we do here, we got 2 lines. We have a free line that is up to a 2-minute listen. We'll give some quick notes and then we'll move on if we get to those lines. The main structure of the live stream, though, if you would like to pay for a submission today, the paid submissions are a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive consultation on the structure of your music. That 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to break down the mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song formatting. We're going to get into the details and the nuances of what you're doing both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. It is not a quick review. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There are no polls. It is a long form detailed analysis of what you're doing within the structure of your music. That is the 20 to 30 minute consultation. So if you're in the paid line, that is what we're doing. The free line, like I said, is just a quick 2-minute span. We'll give you maybe a quick note on some things, and then we'll move on. Let me see. So I've recorded on my phone the individual parts. And badly put together. I love it, Firebird. I love it. So anyway, so you can get into either that free line if you want to get in line for those free spins, or of course, if you want the full detailed consultation, everything is at the link in my bio. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the whole structure and perspective of these consultations and this live structure is kind of pointed in that direction, and just using those tools and structure that we've just acquired over the last 13, 14 years of doing that professionally. For Frig, we're gonna be too late, but we have a work of about like 2 hours. And we might still be on. And we specifically were like, let's go to Torvik and BitLip. I love that. I appreciate y'all so much. Aiton's in the building. What's up, Aiton? I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for the community hearts as well, Livy. I appreciate that a lot. I should be on in 2 hours. I'll probably be on for about, I would say maybe 3 to 3.5 hours today, something like that. So I think we'll be around. Just tap in whenever the time comes, see where the line's at. And of course, feel free to tap in if you feel up to it. But I appreciate y'all tapping back in. We got a draft from Aiton today. Is this fresh, Aiton, or is this revision 72? Thank you, BitLip. I appreciate y'all a lot. Thank you so much for that. But if y'all are over on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Make sure you're tapping the screen, repost, share out the live, send in your heart me. It really does help out the live stream quite a bit. And if you're over, if you would like to submit and you're on the purple app right now, you can type !submit in the chat. If you're on the red app and you would like to submit, everything's at the description for the live stream. If you're on TikTok, of course, everything's at the link in my bio. No matter what line you want to go to, the queue is in the same space as well. So once again, if you want to get into a detailed 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive consultation, all of that's at the link in my bio. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to kick it off today. We got Derek Bennett featuring JL in the building. Derek, you know the deal better than most people in this live stream. Give me all of the details. I got nothing here, so just, drop the details in the chat if this is fresh to me. The name seems unfamiliar, so just let me know if I've heard this before, if it's something fresh. But let's get into it. I'm excited to dive into the music, y'all. Let's do it. This is Unmasked by Derek Bennett featuring JL, getting into our first consultation of the day. So let's dive into it. Written and co-produced by me, newish vocalist. Let's go. All right, let me pull up the Dropbox here really quick, and let's get into it. This is Unmasked by Derek Bennett.
I've worn 1,000 faces, trying to fit the expectations, but behind all disguises I can't escape the truth. They told me to be perfect.
That little DX7
Hide the
vibe.
cracks and scars in the breaking. I've discovered I'm not defined by my past.
Yeah, cool voice.
I'm unmasked. I'm done with lies. I am here and eyes are open to the light. No more hiding who I am. There's no shame in who I've been. The grief and pain I used to hide, I carry them with no regrets. Unmasked. I'm unmasked.
Breakpoints are nice. What's up, Rilee? Welcome in.
Crumbling to the ground. I find my strength in pieces. Don't know where this road will lead, but I won't turn
Got you,
back.
Tim. Appreciate you, man.
No, I won't turn back. I'm unmasked. I'm done with lies. I am here and eyes are open to the light. There's no shame in who I've been. The grief and pain I used to hide, I carry them with no regrets. Unmasked. I'm unmasked. No more hiding who I am.
He was for a second, but he's right above you. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yo, show some love, show some love, show some love. That is Derek Bennett Music right here in the chat. He was on the Red app. He's up here as well over on TikTok. Please show some love and support to the family. Derek Bennett is the co-producer and writer of that record, as well as doing a lot of different parts of the production structure in here. So we're going to dive into some of the details here. We're going to get into some structural elements here. There's some things I want to look at as far as like dynamic range, vocal register goes, and the introduction of those breaks. I really do like your breaks in there, especially like within the first hook, introducing some of these pauses and some of these break points in the hook, allowing the guitars and the synths to kind of ring at the top while the drums and main bass structure gives, has some pauses and some moments where the energy shifts right there. I like that. So I want to get into some of the details of that, get into some of the, where I think that can be best placed, and then where we need to ring out a little bit more in order to make sure like the energy of the song doesn't feel constantly interrupted, but at the same time, we feel a constant push in the structure here. But I like it a lot. Of course, I love the introduction. There's like a DX7 in the background. Got one right there. It's one of my favorite instruments in the studio. I love that thing. I love that I hear some of that kind of tine and some of that, FM EP1, style piano in the background right there. It's just, it's one of my favorite sounds. I don't know why. It's not like the most special sound in the world, but there's something that I just really love about it. So let's get into it, man. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details here. And I'm excited to dive in. Excited to dive in. So let's run it from the top. Once again, this is Derek Bennett Music right here in the chat. Let's get into it. And then for those of you who want to submit, everything is at the link in my bio. So if you want to submit your music either for the free line or if you want to get in for these consultations here, that's what we're digging into right now with the people that are in line in this space. So let's get into it. Anima's in the building on the Red app. What's up, Anima? You're early. Am I early? This is like typical time for me. I'm usually on like 2 or 3 p.m., something like that. I'm actually on a little bit later, I feel like, than usual. But my schedule's been all over the place. I've been working on a bunch of stuff and a bunch of other projects earlier in the day, so my schedule's been very, very loose. Hopefully more consistent in the coming weeks. So I would like to get on a good schedule. The anti-jerks, welcome in over in the Purple app. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for tapping in, and thank you for the follow on the Purple app as well. I appreciate it. Your shirts rule, by the way. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. Shout out to my wife. She bought this. I think it was my birthday or Christmas. But she got this shirt. It's got, if you don't know, it's got the modular stuff in the background, which is awesome. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We got Derek Bennett in the building. Let's run the track back from the top, and let's get into the first parts here. I'm up to 2 minutes, Anima. So if you just want to get in for a quick 2 minute listen and just like a note at the end, I'm up to 2 minutes of the song. It's been there for like probably the last week or so. The first 2 minutes of the song that you can submit for that, or if you want the full consultation where we go back through it, we dig into the details, we break down mix and master structure, we dig into production details, then that's the full consultation, which you're very familiar with. All right, let's run it. Unmasked by Derek Bennett Music. Let's get into it. Do you know if does this vocalist have the high octave? I hear harmonies in the background, obviously, when we get to the main hook. Do they have the capacity for the high octave in this song? Or do you feel like that might not, especially on the hook, specifically on the hook? Or do you not think that might be in the cards?
1,000 faces trying to fit the expectations. But behind all disguises, I can't escape the truth. They told me to be perfect.
I would definitely, some of this we'll dive into a little bit. I would love, so you have this, over the top, right? Over the F major. To the D minor. I'm not sure how this works. I paid last week, but ran out of time. Rick, let me know. Can you let me know the exact date? I'll try to pull it up on one of the other sessions and see if I can get you in the see if I can get you back in the space again. Yeah, appreciate you tapping back in. If you didn't request a refund, that I can pull it up from another session and see. But let me know the exact date when you can come up with it, and then I'll get it locked in for you. Okay. It does not. Yeah, is a mix of just a demo. Okay. I would love to accent those parts right there. Don't do that. The A to C right here. Accent those with the guitar as well, like a real. I mean, again, you already have some of the sound design in there. The 80s FM and stuff like that. Think like a really bright, really snappy, highly compressed electric guitar. Just a little bit of overdrive and a delay to kind of match the FM right there. To layer that and let that kind of ring in the background, and then following the D minor, C major. I think B flat major that follows right there. It'd be nice to have a layer with it, just because the FM sits in a pretty thin spot. If it's not layered well, it can just sound tinny, can just sound kind of shiny at the top. It oftentimes needs some weight to kind of help it feel like it has a little bit more body to it. So it could be helpful to have just like a really, really tasteful layer of electric guitar matching what the FM is doing, like matching what the DX7 is doing, to give it just a little bit of weight in the mix. Would be nice as well. And also just give it some texture, some color, since it is so pure, it's so shiny sounding, it's so polished sounding. It'd be nice to have a little bit of that texture in there. But don't mind, I'll do full do what's in. You do 100%.
Cracks and scars
I got you, Anima.
In the breaking I've discovered I'm not defined by my past.
Because like vocal color, vocal texture here in these early verses are so good. It's so, it's restrained really, really well. I absolutely love it. What I'm going to look for, what I would love to hear more when we get into this next hook right here, is a bit more punch and a bit more push, just because he sits in this lower register. It is layered by some beautiful harmonies that helps support it. At the same time, we lose a little bit of steam because the music gets incredibly intense. And then there's a very, very very restrained lower register of the vocal that feels a little limited by the the amount of energy he can put behind them since he's not hitting the high octave. If there's an opportunity for him or another vocal to hit that high octave, I would highly recommend it, especially in this genre, especially with this kind of, it's got a progressive metalish edge to it in some of the production choices, right? Especially in this genre or subgenres and adjacent genres. It'd be nice to have that power on the hook once we get there. So let's get into it here in just a second.
I'm unmasked and done with life.
It's very, very easy to sing. It's very, very comfortable. That's a great low octave, right? That's a great low supportive vocal, for most of the production structure. But in my brain, I want to hear da, 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 da. I want to hear that lead vocal that sits right over the top of that. If he has that layer in the background, maybe push it, maybe swap energy right there. Swap. Yeah, it's not mixed up. It's not mixed. So a lot of some of the like stylistic decisions of the vocal mix itself will be polished later on as well. If there is a high octave in the back, maybe pushing it towards the forefront so that it becomes the lead. If they can try to hit the high, like a high mixed voice with a little bit more power and energy, I think that would be fantastic. Like I said, we need to push a little bit higher or bring in another vocal that can fill in that void right there. Because the energy of the production definitely feeds right here. Especially with the breaks. Gotcha, ready? I want to hear da 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 da. I want to hear that register, right? Full voice, full mixed voice. Maybe a little bit of supported by fries and stuff like that. But that's where I definitely want to hear a little bit more energy. Like I said, whether it's bringing back layers forward to become the lead or, additional vocal layers right here, this low octave, especially as we build dynamics over the course of the song, is definitely going to be a suppressor to the song. And it's definitely going to be something that holds the song back as far as being able to really feel the energy of the song. It's because it's too comfortable. It's like too comfortable to listen to. Sound design wise, I really like what's here. I mean, the guitars sound great. The drums are snappy and punchy. They're doing a lot of what they're supposed to do in the mix. So I'm not too mad at production structure at all. I like the breaks on this first hook here. My intuition tells me that we should probably, like on a B section of a hook, a repeated hook, or maybe all of your later hooks, we probably need to smooth that out and go straight into just a full, power chord strumming structure right there. Open up the drums completely with the halftime. That way I'm going to say gimmick, but I don't mean it in a negative way. But the trick of having those pauses right here, those breaks right here, don't become too much of a gimmick. They don't become too much of something that happens every single time and it kind of loses its impact and its power over the course of the song. It'd be nice to maintain that punch all the way through. So I like it here.
There's no shame in who I've been.
So like here, if we could push right there, right? If we can get the high vocal, the high octave on the vocal right there, and then I would just smooth out, and just go straight chords right there, full open strum on the guitar. Let the drums go without the breaks. I do think that would be, I do think it would be nice to switch between the two. So when you go to kind of your post hook or you go to, your B section of the hook right here, it could be nice to switch then. So we start really heavy with the breaks and then the B section of the hook, we smooth it out to the full chord strumming pattern as opposed to it being limited by the breaks every single time. I really do like the breaks. I just want them to happen in a way that feels a little bit more tasteful and in a way that doesn't make them too prominent in the song to where they kind of lose their value over the course of the song. All right, second verse.
Walls that held me captive are crumbling to the ground. I find my strength in pieces.
I mean, they have a great voice. I mean, I really do love their voice. Production structure, I'm really enjoying. A lot of the sound design, I appreciate so much. There's nothing wrong with it. Thank you for the divine fingers. I appreciate that, James. Thank you for the gift. Sorry if I missed it earlier.
But I won't turn back. No, I won't.
Open up.
I'm
Yeah, if they can get that, I've already said it. You know the deal. If we can get that octave in there, to me, especially B chorus, so on and so on, it's going to wake up the song so much in a way that's just dramatically more energetic and vibrant compared to the A section of the song.
I am here and eyes are open to the light.
I do another track this week for me. I'll see if you can hit that too. If you can, it's not like crazy. It's high. Don't get me wrong. It's high, but I can feel the restraint in his vocal. He has natural, like, good vocal compression, like from his diaphragm. Like he's got good vocal technique and good vocal structure here, where there is a lot of energy here that I think is able to come out if he's able to kind of bring it forward. I think he's definitely got it. I think he's got it. Also check if I have it. I hear a high octave, so you can hear it here. You have one here. I do think. I think it's falsetto, which is, it's not terrible, but obviously if we're talking about the power behind the vocal, then we'll want a full voice there. But I do hear a layer. But it's still missing a little bit of that, snap. Shout out to Fiber, appreciate you.
No more hiding who I am. There's no shame in who I am. The grief and pain I used to hide, I carry them with no regret.
Thank you for the heart moves.
I'm unmasked. No more hiding who I am.
Yeah, so the way that we open up here, right? The way that we go. The way that opens up into the full chords, I would love some of that, even though the drums don't have to double time every time. So like the first couple times, obviously I appreciate the halftime all the way through most of the song structure, and then adding the double time later on. What's up, Nathan? Welcome in. The double time later on, I think, is fantastic. It's a good burst of energy on the last, kind of climax of the song here. I think you could still do like the last half of the hook with the smoothed out chords, full strumming pattern, instead of the breaks, and then still double time. That gives you kind of naturally. Thank you for the roses, James. I appreciate you. Nathan, thank you for the heart me. It gives you one extra tier, right? Because we have like the breaks, we have the full strums with the kind of the open crash and everything for the drums, and then we have the next tier. Then we have the next tier being the double time at the very, very end, which makes it feel like we have multiple layers that we're able to build here. Same thing for those earlier hooks. Instead of being the breaks every time relying on the vocal, which right now, currently in its state, is a little bit lower tension just because of the lower octave. Having it move into one, maybe a higher octave if that ends up being possible, or just stronger layering in there. And or going from breaks to full strum is going to naturally give you that little stair step and dynamic without having to like add a ton of new elements. It'll just naturally feel like there's a little bit more push behind it just because the production structures is shifting slightly. There's more information in the mix because we're not breaking, so those guitars are strumming straight through, which I do think will add a little bit of life here. But the vast majority of this I like a lot, man. It's really well done. It's a great production structure. It's a great song structure too. Strong verses, strong hooks, strong instrumental and outro. Like as far as like the song formatting itself, it does feel really, really well done. Really, really well done. There's some stronger layers in there. So good, man. So good. Y'all, please show some love. Show love. That is Unmasked by Derek Bennett Worship. Derek Bennett Worship. I'm not Derek Bennett Worship. I'm conflating two things. My bad. Derek Bennett Music, which I also know as Testament Worship, doing some other stuff. But Derek Bennett, whatever. You know who you are. You know what you do. Show some love to Derek Bennett. Brain's still turning on right now. Justin Holbert's in the building. What's up, man? Welcome in. Weston, appreciate you joining the stream. Anima, somebody didn't add the mid-range. We talked about yet. The Fender lost my guitar in shipment. Dang, Anima, that's unfortunate. I'm very, very blessed that, I got you. I'm okay. I got you. Yeah, I had to pull it out of request. I'm very grateful. I have ordered lots of equipment over the years, and I don't think I've had a single thing get lost. I don't think I've had a single thing get lost. I'm very, very, very grateful for that. But y'all, please show some love one more time to Derek Bennett Music. Show some love. Show some love. Let's keep it rolling. We got some more music to get to. Let me see. Who am I looking at? Riddick, let me pull you up from the 17th. So give me a second. I got to dip back into another track here really quick, and let me get things flowing here. Y'all do me a huge favor. If y'all are on TikTok, make sure y'all tapping the screen, share out the live, repost, all that fun stuff. A heart me really does help out the live stream quite a bit. If you're on the purple app and you would like to submit, type !submit. If you're on the red app, you can go to the description. If you are on TikTok, everything's at the link in my bio. You can hop in free for an up to 2-minute listen and a quick note, or if you want the full 20 to 30 minute deep dive, multiple listen breakdown of the structure of your music, where we go multiple times in your song and really get into the nuances, then of course you can submit there as well, and check the queue if you want to see where you're at or move forward or anything like that. Everything's good to go. Manifesta's in the building. What's the Manifesta? I see you on the purple app. Welcome in. Okay, so let me pull up an old session here real quick. Give me a second. So 17. Let me open up here. Let's open up here. Let's see. Gray Skies. Is it Gray Skies, right? It's so bad. I got a 20%. Hey, 20% discount is ready to go. Okay, we got to run this one really quick, and then we're going to dive back into the rest of the line. We got Riddick in the building. Let's go, Riddick. This was my band in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, the lead singer passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. We couldn't continue without him. Man, I appreciate you for your vulnerability in sending this in. I know that can be touchy. That can be a challenging thing to deal with. Of course, a very challenging thing to deal with. So Riddick, man, let me know. I know this was in the early 2000s. So any context on what I'm hearing as far as what you specifically do in the structure of this music here, as well as anything that you want me to focus on, or anything that would be really beneficial in bringing you value as far as what I can offer you within these breakdowns here, or if you just want me to hear what you're about and kind of hear what y'all are able to do, let me know about that as well. But this is Riddick, Euless, I believe, right here in the chat. Gray Skies Burn Red, I believe is the band name. Just want your honest opinion. Okay, beautiful. Let me get this pulled up on YouTube really quick, and then we'll dive back into the rest of the line here in a moment. Riddick, what did you do in the band? Nice. All electric guitar? Nice. Good distinct riffs too. Really solid blast beats for real for a real kid. That's not easy to do. Tempo change, slow it down. Probably another 2 to 2.5 hours. Nice little shift in energy here. for the roses. Appreciate you. Any genre, any genre. Nice double track. Thank you for the prop. I appreciate you. Appreciate it. Y'all, show some love, show some love, show some love. That is Gray Skies Burn Red. That is the name of the band, I believe. The song is When I Arrived, They Were All Ready. I'm going to say unalive for the sake of TikTok, because TikTok's annoying and weird. But please shout out to Riddick right here. He did all of the guitar, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, so on and so on. Y'all, please show some love. Thank you for the Let 'Em Cook, James. I appreciate it so much. Libby, thank you for the community heart. I appreciate y'all so much for the gifts. Thank y'all for your generosity. Let's run this from the top. Now, this is obviously going to be a little bit of a different breakdown, just because of the context of the song, right? This is not a song that's going to be, mixed together. It's been released for, at this point, I think you said early 2000s when y'all are a band, so a decade plus, maybe several that the song has been available for people to listen to. I'm not necessarily, and even the context, the context of the band has of course changed over the years for the reasons that you provided us, man. And I do appreciate, man, your vulnerability in sending this in. Like you said, it's a hard listen. It's not something that's the easiest to do, especially in the context of the story of these songs and the story of the band and kind of the journey of the band. So I appreciate that so much. So we'll go back through and we'll chop through just a couple little things here. You just wanted an honest response to it, so that's what we'll give. But it's going to be less like mixed notes on a song that's not getting remixed, right? Or structural changes on something that's not going to be changed. So we'll break down some things. I'll of course dive into some of the details of the things that I love about what you're doing. For one, right off the bat, one of the things that I really appreciate about what y'all are doing, again, I don't know the context of how you tracked, but this is really, really tight rhythmic tracking from rhythm guitars, bass, blast beats on the drums, of course, and vocal structure over the top of that. But the actual rhythmic structure of this is incredibly, incredibly tight for using a real drum set, real drummers. Like this is not just completely rigid and quantized and triggered. It has a lot of great movement for something that could potentially be very, very loose. So just the tight-knit nature of the percussion structure of the song, what y'all did as a band, I think is really impressive. So y'all definitely show some love, man. Definitely show some love. Teo, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. If anybody would like to submit for the Consultations, which is a version of what we're doing right here, this one's a little bit different, but a version of what we're doing here, everything's at the link in my bio. You can submit up there. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. James, I really do appreciate the gifts. Thank you so much for the love, y'all. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live, repost the live. It does really help out. Every heart me, every community heart, all that stuff. It does really help out the live stream. But let's keep rolling with the music here. Let's get back into this once again. This is Riddick who did the guitars here. Also, before we even dive into it, I'll bullet point some of the things like I mentioned. Drum and percussion structure, chef's kiss, beautiful. Really nice, distinct double tracks in this as well. This isn't just all duplicated and opened it up. It's good tone on either side. And they're really, really well structured double track, which means you're playing those riffs both ways on both ends of the track here, panned left, panned right. In addition to some lead elements, you're doing a great job of making those riffs distinct and sharp. Even when, again, with the blast beats, with all the things that are happening, it'd be very easy for this to be wildly messy rhythmically. But your riffs and your double tracks are really distinct. They're really, really fresh. So I'm a big fan. Starting from the top, let's dive into a couple quick details here, and then we'll get back into the line. I mean, those are sharp. Those are pointed. Those are sharp. Those are really, really well done. nice that you also then go from, so it's doubled rhythm structure, right? So you have the bump, 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 and you have the heavier parts of your chord structure a little bit lower. Anthony, welcome in. Your right side of the double track here then kind of moves through some harmonies of your like initial riff that it's kind of, it's punching through from like the low chord to the high riff. And then it kind of moves to like the third note harmony above that. So there's some evolving of your melodies and evolving of your riffs that I feel are really, really well executed as well, man. Let's go, Con. I love it. Kyle, welcome in. Only thing I'll say from a practical is the only thing I'll say from a practical standpoint, because I'm hearing it. Otherwise, there's no point in necessarily saying it, just because there's nothing you're going to do about it necessarily right now. I do wish in anything that you ever feel like you might plan to do in the future, or anything that you're working on now musically, I would love to hear the bass guitar, because it is there, it exists. I heard it a little bit later on as well. I would love to have the bass guitar and the vocal, the whole entire vocal structure, from layers to fries to lead vocal structure, a couple dB louder. It's got a great feel to it. I love what's actually happening within those ranges. They all sound fantastic. I would love for them to be a little bit more forward in the mix, because they have a great energy, they have great punch, but I think underneath the double tracks and the drums, like the blast beats and stuff like that, they can't quite compete with what's happening. So a little bit more energy behind those I do think would be beneficial in the mix, especially on the high end of the bass as well. The bass is really dull and really dark kind of in the background there. I would love for that to have like a little bit more overdrive, a little bit more high end. I mean, more specifically around like 4, 5, 6K on the bass, to give it more like pick attack, and a little bit more just, more transient response. It feels sharper. It feels a little bit more energetic, and then forward like 2 or 3 dB, just to kind of rebalance out the mix, make it a little heavier and a little bit more body on the bottom end. And then of course, lead vocal structure will shine just a hair more. If you ever are working on music in the future, or if you're doing anything right now within the structure of your music, then that's something I would just keep in mind. Devin, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Beyond that, what is happening within the structure of the production, I think is fantastic. I think it's really well done, especially within this genre, especially within this context. Remaster this EP, dude. That'd be beautiful. It would be a beautiful tribute as well. Let's get a little. I want to get into the acoustic breakdown here really quick, because that's when the energy shifts a little bit more here. I love the mud of the overlap right here. This is where I'm okay with a little bit of mud and a little bit of noise. Same thing here. I know that the bass is there, but I don't feel it, right? So that's where I would love a little bit more of the top. I want to hear maybe a little tighter compression on the bass, a little bit more of the top end, because I hear some of these little riffs that it's doing. I hear this almost reharmonization with the chords that's happening, where it's got some tension to it that I really, really like in the mix, because it's not always matching the root, which I think is awesome. I think it's a really cool way to layer in there. Sometimes it just falls out of the back of the mix, and I would love for it to really, really feel that energy in the mix. This is a really cool part of the song, probably one of my favorite parts of the song. There's such a shift in emotion, such a shift in energy in the track. I like it a lot. Yeah, true, Libby. And then we're gonna bring in a single track here in a second. Open up to the double. You hear the energy it goes crazy, because we're coming from a lower dynamic range here. We bring in a single track, it offsets the mix to one side. We double up that track again on the other side, as actually, recording again on the right side. Whole mix opens up like crazy. So this next, what I'll call a hook, or kind of a bridge outro here, has so much more energy behind it now, just by stair-stepping where things are placed and kind of how we facilitate them in the mix. Beautiful job, man. It's really, really well done. How old is the song? I know it was uploaded to YouTube. You said a couple decades ago. A couple decades ago is when y'all were a band for the most part. This was uploaded to YouTube 3 years ago. How old is this? 2006? I mean, come on. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's literally 2 decades old. It is 20 years old. Y'all crushed it. You should be able to, have your head up high, just knowing that I hear a lot of current stuff, people that have been working in their music for a very, very long time, that aren't necessarily executing with this much clarity and distinction with their instruments. This this far along, right? And so I love that this is 20 years old, and this could still be something I would love a remastering. It's a little quiet, like I said, small rebalancing of like bass and lead vocals, maybe a remastering to be able to compete on platforms. I think a little bit more. This is obviously pre-streaming era to an extent, and so there's some elements of this where it's not going to necessarily, I can remaster 100%, whether off the 2-track or off a group, like off of group stems or something like that. There's some loudness that you would want it to be able to compete with, on platforms, which would be something I would keep in mind, right? Just because now, even though with the negative 14 left limits or whatever, that's supposed to be automatically applied, like on Spotify and most major DSPs, for the most part, pushing a little bit louder can be helpful to just allow it to compete on other modern playlists, especially nowadays, like modern sequences nowadays. So I would suggest a remastering. I feel like it could be beneficial to just regain some clarity, regain some separation, regain some loudness. And then from there, I think you'll be locked in. You'll be ready to go. Let me get the outro of the song here really quick. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I would 100% would be honored to do that, man. In any capacity I can help you out, please let me know, man. I'd be honored. Let's let Carlos welcome in. Voice Step, welcome in as well. Great tone. And is it 6 string just down tuned to C? Is that how how low you're tuning? Or are you running like a 7 and barring from there? Because you have a lot of great clarity on the low C, drop C. Okay, that makes sense. You have a lot of great clarity right there. So I didn't know if you had 7 and you were barring, or if you were down tuning to the C. Yeah, 6 string right there. Great tension. You're still getting the great harmonics and great squeals out of it. So you're getting a lot of fantastic energy out of the tone, even on a 6 string. It's not like a 6 string is like like a terrible guitar or anything. Obviously, it's 99% of guitars. But you're getting great tone. You're getting great tension out of the 6 string too. That's a pretty low D-tune right there. So, obviously if you have a thicker gauge and you have a little bit more control, that can be very helpful, but you're getting great tone out of a 6 string, especially, going down, 4, semitones there. You're getting a lot of great energy. Y'all, please show some love. Rilee, also, thank you. I know this is from the 17th. It's 5 days ago. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate you coming back in. Thank you so much for trusting us with your music. Absolutely love what you do. Y'all are obviously very talented, very passionate musicians and writers, man. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today as well. Please show some love to Rilee. All the guitars that you just heard right there were Rilee here in the chat as well. We're going to keep the music going. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with us today. If you would like to get into the consultations, just like we're doing here, that one is a little bit different as far as structure goes. But if you would like a 20 to 30 minute deep dive, multiple listen consultation on the structure of your music, everything is at the link in my bio. Just go there. You can, of course, submit there if you would like to, or check the line, see the order, see where you want to be, so on and so on. We've got Aiton in the building. All songs on YouTube and in SoundCloud. Let's go, Rilee. Please show them some love and support. Show them some love and support. We got Aiton in the building. Let's go, Aiton. Pretty fresh. Probably fewer than 10 drafts thus far. I love for Aiton that like 10 versions of the song is fresh. For some of us, we like make a song on a pass, we like edit it a couple times and then decide if we're gonna trash it, shelf it, or like put it out on platforms. And he's like, hey, this is fresh. Just started working on it. I got maybe 10 drafts. I got maybe 10 drafts of it so far. That's so funny. I relate to that so heavy. Still in the composing phase. So obviously mix issues, not even worried about it. No one's heard it yet. So let's see. We got a early sneak peek right here. We got Aiton Music Productions. We love Aiton. Aiton's the family. So please show them some love and support, man. Of course, you know what? We always love and adore what you do. But this is Glass Raindrops. I like the name. Glass Raindrops by Aiton right here in the chat. Let's get it. Little 6/8 swing to it. Little late on the snare. I like it. Let's go, James. I love it. I love it. I love it. I like the crunch on the drums. Great little saturated harmonics there. Any plans for vocals on this? I know you said you're still composing. You're still working it out. flip on the ride right there. I like it. It shakes it up a little bit. Little B3 organ in the background. Come on. Vocals, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What's up, Moon? Welcome in. The ride gives it a really interesting shift. It gives it a really interesting shift. Daniel, I got your submission as well. Sorry if I missed that earlier. I'm doing well, Moon. Thanks for tapping in today. Thank y'all for the follows as well. I see a couple of those in there. Thank you for the follows. I like that crash too. It's got kind of that like dry, trashy, almost like Byzance dry kind of a feel to it too. Yeah, y'all, show some up. That's Glass Raindrops by Aiton. Let's get straight back into it, man. We're not gonna waste any time. Let's dive into it. Yeah, from a percussion standpoint, I really like a lot of your sound design choices. Now, once again, this is early. This is very fresh for Aiton, so this is not mixed. I'm not even worried about the mix. We'll talk through a couple things that maybe affect it down the road. But let's get into it, man. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some of the details here. I'm very excited about this, man. It's a cool structure. Did you listen to any French? Yeah, any genre, any language, any style, any level of quality or preparedness. Some people send in release stuff. Some people send in works in progress. We had a song that was released on platforms earlier. This song right here it's like first pass. It's an early demo before it's even touched as far as mix goes. So we're going to get a huge variety of not only skill and quality, but a huge variety of style and genre and preparedness and different languages and stuff like that too. So fun. If any of you would like to submit, Moon, if you want to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. We do have a free line. We're going to pull out from there hopefully a little bit later if we can get to some goals as well. Let's see. Rilee, I got you. Rilee, thank you so much for your submission. I appreciate that a lot. I have a Rode NT1. Shout out to the Rode NT1. When I was training in studio, I did 2.5-year private mentorship in a studio. When I was doing that, we had just got sent the first batch of Rodes. So we had like 7 of them that were sent from Australia into the studio. And so we set them up on everything. It was like the first batch of the early NT series from Rode. And so we set them up on piano. We set them up on vocals. We had like 4 of them on a drum set. It was fun. The Rodes are cool, especially for the price point. They're very versatile. I've used them plenty of times. But let's get into it. Aiton, let's dive into it. But yeah, if y'all want to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. We'll get into some more music here in a second. But man, shout out to Aiton. Aiton, I like this production structure a lot. Let's get into some of the details, man. Let's run it from the top. It does, Anima, 100%. NTK is their tube mic, right? Am I remembering that correctly? The Rode NTK? Okay, quick note. Just something as you're getting into composition, like you said, you're working through a lot of this. As you're composing this a little bit, in my personal opinion, I would wait just a little bit longer to introduce some of these more complex movements rhythmically, melodically, bass root wise. Right now it is a tube. Oh yeah, those are nice. I think for like $400 to $600, something like that for a tube mic. It's hard to beat that. There's not. I mean, I know SC has one that's pretty cheap. There's not too many cheap tube mics. So yeah, it's a great one for the price. These early rhythmic structures, as soon as the bass comes in, it comes in with some interesting kind of polyrhythms. It comes in already with some changes and kind of like reharmonizing underneath some of the chords. The piano changes rhythm a little bit. So right off the bat, structurally speaking, the song gets a little bit off center. Now, I don't mind there being moments of these kind of inconsistencies and more like unstable rhythmic, portions of the song. The hook, we get a little bit of that, offhand 16th on the right as well, which I think is great. Like I said, those are interesting, rhythms and stuff that add a lot to the aesthetic of the song. I think earlier, but especially if you're going to get a vocal on here, what I would do is like establish some sense of trust early on, as far as this early structure goes of the boom, 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 boom. And just like have like simple polished, and then like a B section of the verse, add a little shift in there, reharmonize over the first, minor chord or whatever you want to do, and shift some of that energy a little bit. But I think piano wise and structure wise, Rilee, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Piano wise, structure wise, when you're getting into these first chords, you're doing your first kind of run through of your bass progression here. Simpler is probably better. You could always go crazy later, but if you start off too complex, it's going to be really rocky ground for a vocal to get on. And that's going to be more challenging to find rhythm. It's going to be more challenging to find like melodically where they want to sit. So I would start a little cleaner, a little bit simpler, and then, add tension, add complexity as you kind of build the production. So maybe second verse is a little bit funkier. It's a little bit, different, but your like first verse and your main hooks maybe are a little bit simpler rhythmically as well as bass line wise. And that'll give you also more chances like over like, as you're building like chord progressions with the piano and stuff like that, to have more fun lead elements that you bring in there if your main chords and like main bass lines are slightly similar. Now, when I say simpler, not similar, simpler. When I say simpler, I still want the funk in there. I still want your chromatic lead-in notes. I still want some like pauses and reintroductions. I still want that there, just not as like the prominent like factor of how you're adding, how you're adding the bass in there. Stevie K, welcome in. Carlo, thank you so much for tapping in as well. Everything's at the link in my bio if anyone wants to submit. Everything's at the link in my bio. Is that bass real? I believe it's ample. I think it's ample sound. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it sounds like one of the ones I've heard before. I think it's ample sound if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's a real bass. I love the swing on the percussion. Swing and saturation on the percussion, nasty. Yeah, VST. Moto bass. Okay, cool. I literally answered you twice. That's fine. That's fine. Ignore me, not ignoring you. Yeah, like some of those lead-ins, some of those follows right there. We can like smooth some of that out early on, and then when you get to maybe your hook, second verse, bridge, so on and so on, as you build out structure, as you're still, like you said, still composing it and getting it, kind of getting the rest of the structure out there. It could be nice to add some of that flavor, some of that sauce in there to make it feel like it's got a little bit more nuance to it. But we can start with da boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 and a little bit tighter, a little bit simpler, matching probably the swing of kick and snare, and keep some of that energy in there. And then those, I don't know if those toms are a part of the drums that you have as your main kick hats and snare that you have in there. If they are, we can kind of work that in there. If they're separate from that and they're brought in from like another VST or brought in as another sample in their same kit, they're really, really transient and really, really sharp. Some of that's coming through just because of maybe compression and a little bit of saturation, but they're very, very slicey. So what you might want to do, 82, okay. What you might want to do is bring in some other like soft dead toms from another kit, depending on how that. I've never used that, so depending on the way that you're structured, if you can swap samples in there, every plugin's a little bit different. But if you're able to swap samples, you're able to kind of refeed with some different sound design choices in there. It'd be nice to come in, but something's a little drier, a little deader, still saturated, still crunchy, still harmonic, but losing some of that slice. It's very piercing. So when that first comes in, it'd be nice to soften that approach. Yeah, you can transient shape them if you want to. You might be able to feed those out to another channel. So usually most decent VSTs. Lady K, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Most VSTs you can output obviously to different tracks. So you might output just those out to their own bus or to their own set of tracks over there and in there, do some transient shaping, exactly bring down the attack, kind of reshape that envelope a little bit, maybe filter down so they're not so bright as well, cut out some of that 5 to 8K that's maybe a little bit piercing right there. So if there's some opportunities for you to like ship those out of the VST for a moment, process them and then print them, that might be fine, because I don't mind what you're doing with them. I don't mind these lead in lines going into your hook. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's just that particular sound design that's a little bit sharp. It's a little bit sharp compared to how mellow and vibey and interesting to listen to everything else is, right? It's just a little bit pointy as far as just those couple little sound design choices there. How in depth your feedback? Thank you, Lady K. I appreciate you a lot. Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you spending some time with us in the stream today as well. Okay, and let's go with these lead-ins right here. I love it, right? I mean, you already have this nice 6/8 movement. You have this nice swing to the song already, and then you have these offhands on the right. I love that as well. Same thing, kind of like we're talking about with the bass. We've talked about this with other records too. Love that. Don't lose that, because that's one of my favorite parts of just the movement that you feel on this hook right here. I think it's so cool. Every time I hear it, it makes me want to move with that, which is a great sign. What I would do is still ground it with like maybe a more typical 8th note on the, on like a really like soft shaker or something like that. So you still go to, and then on the off hit, you're getting the ride, which is obviously panned to the right. You're getting more of that like distinction and separation in the mix by pushing that to the right, but you still have like a grounded element that hits the 16ths or hits the 8th notes. I guess 16ths in this case, that hits the 16ths underneath it to kind of ground the rhythm. So it's not only hearing those offhands, but just a, and then you're hearing you're hearing that on the outside. The contrast between the two, for one, panning wise, I think will be interesting. You could offset the shakers a little bit to the left or just have them in stereo. And then right side, you can push, of course, how you already have the right over there. But you'll have some grounded 16th notes as well as, opening up some of those more interesting rhythms that I know you want in there. With the ride on the right side as well. And I think that, again, all of this here is like, if we simplify bass, maybe some of the piano to leave space for like your vocalists and stuff like that to kind of get over the main part of the structure here, I think would be beautiful. I think it'd be really, really, really nice to just, again, leave some space for a vocal to have some room to play there and not feel like every void is filled with production elements. And then when you get into the hook, ground it so it feels really, really nice and really, really direct, and then add those separate kind of more fun, interesting layers like the ride and stuff as kind of a secondary layer of your production. If anybody would like to submit, Al, I see you, Jesse, appreciate you tapping in. I'll be on for another couple hours, maybe another 2 hours or so. Everything's at the link in my bio if anyone would like to submit. Of course, you can skip there. You can move faster there if you want to. You can get a line for the free, which will hopefully, if we can, we'll pull one out of there later on, either for today's live or for the next live, which will be tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, those are some of those main production elements there. Otherwise, again, this is early production. This is super open right now. Very, very early in the process. Another don't ignore the head mod. Wait, what did I miss? Let's get the likes and shares up to pick someone from the free line. Oh, not you. Oh, I was like, hold on. I was like, what did I miss? Libby is the head mod of my life. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Glass Raindrops, Aiton. Dude, I love your sound design, Aiton. I truly do. I love your sound design. It's warm, it's crunchy, it's interesting. I have never heard a production from Aiton that I'm not heavily invested in and interested in, because they're always, and I mean this as a musician, I mean this so positively, they're always weird, they're always quirky, there's always some hard left turn halfway through the song I wasn't expecting, and to me it just makes it, and again, sometimes we can rein that in a little bit, we can create a little more palatable structure, sure, who cares, but like, I love that your music is interesting, it's authentic, it's fun to listen to, and it has so much nuance and so much creativity to it. So man, just shout out to Aiton, and I genuinely appreciate your creativity so much. I love it, man. I can relate. Love the percussion. Just, yeah, don't touch that. I know we're going to probably go through 38 more revisions of this. Don't you dare touch this pocket of the percussion. The swing is perfect. It's a little late on the hats in the snare, a little rushed on the kick then to kind of offset a little bit. Like we have this great openness right there. Great, don't you dare touch it. Go through as many revisions as you need to, but it's a nice little crunchy cross stick right there. The hat's in the background, a nice thuddy kick underneath it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, there's gonna be. I already know there's going to be 48 revisions of the song. I need this kick and snare in all 48 of them. Change whatever. Bring in some trumpets, bring in some saxophones, bring in, a Rhodes and another organ if you so please. Don't touch the drums. I love the drums. Or just make a different song with other stuff. These drums got to stay. I love it, man. They're really, really well structured. That crash too, it's very trashy. I like it. And that's just tomorrow. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's here, like I'm gonna do what I kind of want the shaker to do. And even though it's just gonna be my mouth and it's gonna be annoying and not sound that good, the point of what I'm addressing is how it kind of grounds it a little bit, but you still get the swing from the ride. We'll ground the production structure and ground some of the percussion a little bit, and you'll still get all the swing that you want from the ride. And it opens it up a little bit, but you're gonna get just this pump right in the middle of the mix, or kind of wherever you might want it to kind of be positioned. But you're gonna still get that movement over there if you just subtly give it that notch right in the middle of the mix, just to kind of sharpen it up a little bit. Again, it makes it so not everything, although I love the swing and I love the movement, not everything is off the grid. Not everything is like so outside that it's really challenging for a vocalist to like lock in a hook idea and give like a really like viable performance that an audience can remember. If the rhythms are kind of popping out and these polyrhythms are popping out all over the place over a 6/8 beat with swing from acoustic drums, like it's going to sound really cool, especially to musicians that understand kind of what's going on. But at the same time, if you can subtly, while keeping everything that you have there, subtly ground the percussion, man, you're going to be in a fantastic space. Fantastic space, dude. I have no doubts that this is going to be so fun. I can't wait to hear vocals on this. If that happens soon, it's going to be beautiful. And I think we can probably, sound design wise, we can probably have some stronger again, I know you're early, so I'm just saying what you can look for. Some stronger transitions, especially coming from this, what I'll call a bridge, going into your last, what I'll call a hook, based on what I'm hearing here. Al, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. I think we'd have some stronger transitions there. One is, I think, having the rides and the crash all the way through this breakdown right here, and then going straight into the next section. We don't have, already there. Yeah, you know the deal. We don't really get a break from that sound design coming from here. So I'd probably break this down to like no cymbals and just have it like just bass and kick almost with the piano and get crazy with the piano here. Get some really interesting jazzy moments, some chromatic, movement, some kind of blues in there, some nice scaling. Get some really interesting sound design with there, and maybe boom, 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 boom. But it's just like kind of kick in the of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let me know when you're back in. I'll keep you up on the board. Tep, I got you, man. I appreciate you so much. Thinking to make the last chorus bare? Yeah. And for me, it's shift however you do this. Early on is obviously up to you, but a shift in sound design right now, I think because of the ride and that cymbal is kind of over the top of most of the mix for the entire portion right there. There's really not that much of a shift in energy when we come out of that portion of the song. So it would be nice to have a break in that, either taking out on the bridge, taking up the cymbals and just going like kick, bass, and jazzy piano. Love that. Kick, just kick and bass right in there, and then keep it a little bit more funky, and then bring everything back in. You get that nice dynamic range, or vice versa. Keep everything in and then do a low hook with the vocal where it's nothing but like piano and a pad. Like maybe it's just like piano and a low drone from the organ in the background on the last hook. No other percussion and bass, right? You can kind of go either one of those directions right there. Either way, it's going to sound fabulous, man. I'm not worried about it at all. Sherlock, welcome in as well. Y'all, please show some love to the family. DeAnna, welcome in as well. Aiton Music Productions right here in the chat. We love Aiton. Aiton, you're so brilliantly talented. That's an early production from him. I know this is going to take a lot of different forms. I know it's going to sound beautiful in all the different forms that we encounter it in. But I'm really excited for you to build this out, man. It's a cool production. I really like the bones of it. Don't touch those drums. Don't touch those drums. The piano sounds great as well, man. As always, absolutely love what you're doing. Absolutely love what you're doing. Please show some love to Aiton in the building. So we're going to bypass Tepno really quick. For those of you that are coming in, if you like what we're doing, what you're listening to right now as we do these deeper dives on these songs right now, these are 20 to 30 minute consultations. So these are the deep dives. We might pull some people out of the free line a little bit later if we're not able to get down to that free line. So make sure you're tapping the screen. Make sure you're sharing out the live. Make sure you're reposting so we can get to a goal and get some people out of that free line up into the skips. Those skips, the free line is just a 2-minute quick listen, and then we'll do, of course, just a very brief breakdown of just something you can improve on. If you want a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive consultation where we get into the nuances and the details of your music over that 30 minutes, that is at the link in the bio as well. Everything is up there. Could you help me? I want to upgrade my vocal mixing, and I don't know which plugins to get. For one, if you are wanting to upgrade your vocal mixing, and you feel like you're running into pain points, don't upgrade plugins yet. Upgrade your skills with your stock plugins. Understand the nuances of it. Understand the coloring and the techniques and the language behind your stock plugins. And once you are there, if your pain point is just that you don't have a specific color that you're looking for, then of course plugins can help. You can get an emulation of an 1176 or whatever you want to do and stuff like that. There's subscriptions you can get and whatever like that. But I think most people's pain point is not the plugin. Most pain points that I run into when people are asking about mixing, especially vocal production, has very little to do with the plugin that they're using, as more to do to their understanding of what the plugin is doing and how it's affecting the vocals. You can get a phenomenal mix, a really beautiful mix with stock plugins. I love my non-stock plugins too. I'm not trying to sound like a snob about it. I love FabFilter. I love my UAD plugins and whatever, and I use them all the time. There's also many different times where I just go to stock because I just need something that's really inherent and really quick. So anyways, my gut reaction is get phenomenal at gain staging, at understanding compression, EQ, panning and positioning, and then your use of ambiance. Get phenomenal at that. Dynamic control. Your filtering and stuff like that. Get amazing at that. And if even there you then run into some pain points where I feel like I've gotten really good at those things, and there's a color that I'm wanting, then of course, FabFilter's got some great plugins. UAD has some great plugins. Waves has some great plugins. There's great plugins. There's great plugins everywhere out there. Those are easy to come by. There's great free plugins out there. But that's typically not the issue that people are running into, is their lack of plugins. In fact, I wish most people used less and understood more. Torvik should drive while reviewing music. That's against TikTok's terms of service. No, you're gonna get me banned. Billy Blaze, thank you for the follow and thank you for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for tapping in. Anima said low-key headphones, no good headphones, no good mix. I mean, beyond headphones or speakers or whatever, it's your ability to reference consistently. I know people that have untreated rooms that have have multi-million stream songs and records, and they're great engineers and great producers. That they have just learned to do. They have just learned to do what they do consistently within their environment. And that's one of the reasons why I have these headphones, because we're renting houses. I've built a studio in this house, and it's a nice studio in this house. But in whatever amount of time we're going to move out of here, and I want to be able to reference consistently. So I bought really nice headphones to where, whether I'm on a plane or I'm at an Airbnb across the country, or I'm going to see family somewhere else, or I'm on vacation or whatever, or I'm in any different place here in the house, and I want to be able to mix consistently. These headphones sound the same everywhere. So having consistent referencing and understanding your reference points, I think, are one of the most common things. Just getting barefoot monitors is not going to fix your mixes if you don't understand how to actually mix with them and understand the changes in your reference points. Okay, let's get into these next ones. So Tep, I know you need a little bit of time. Okay, let me double check a few things. Rilee, let me know if you are in the chat. And if y'all are on TikTok, do me a huge favor, tap the screen, share off the live, repost the live. We're going to get moving with some more music here in just a moment here. Rilee's in the building. Rilee, I got you. You are getting kind of the free boost up right now, since we're going to wait a little bit for Tep. So this is Lexi by Rilee. DeAnna, I believe, is the name. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The song is released. One of the first singles of my debut album out this summer. Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited to get into this. What are good VSTs for more realistic sounds on a low budget? Low budget, I'll show you right here. This is what you're going to do on a low budget. We're going to go down here. I'm going to show you exactly, and then we're going to dive into this next track. Labs. Joseph, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it so much. Any instrument that you want. Labs by Spitfire Audio. They are free. They are free. I have like 30 gigs or more. 30, Fresh K, thank you for the follow. I have like 30 to 40 gigs of free sounds from Spitfire Audio Labs. Now I have some of their paid, programs and stuff too for like cinematic stuff, scoring, whatever it may be. This is, I think, for free without having to go to a million different places. You could just, if you want guitars, you want, cellos and pads and sound design and Foley and harps and bass guitars, bell swarms, synths, whatever. What are we looking at here? I mean, a lot of like ethnic instruments and stuff like that, world instruments. Like you can get a lot of different stuff here. Classic synth sounds, different percussion, electric guitars, EPs, Rhodes, Wurlitzer, stuff like that. It's about as good as it gets. It's pretty fantastic. So like let me see. I don't even know what I'm pulling up here, but it's probably the best database of free sounds. Yeah, this is Pro Tools issue. Of free sounds. You can get this on any DAW. It's just Spitfire Audio is the company. They make some of the best cinematic scoring, tools in the world. Recorded at some of the best studios in the world. But this is free. So you can get it for free, and you can add as many sounds as you want from there. I mean, let me add again, just for the sake of showing you kind of what's going on here. All I'm going to do. I'll toss a free. We'll toss a free compressor on here just for the sake of, I just want to show you what's happening. We'll go nice and slow. Push this a little bit. I'm overcompressing that a little bit. You get the idea. There's not a lot of like free. There's not a lot of free that's going to have as much like technical nuance. All that dynamic range and different tonal qualities. I love it. Anyways, that's one sound of like 8,000 sounds that I have on there, but just to give you an idea. If you like any instrument, I mean, we're talking synths, we're talking pads, we're talking strings and live drum. Like I use live drums from there all the time because they're real recorded live drums. They're beautifully done. So anyways, Spitfire Audio is the company. They have some $12,000 libraries. They have some $30 libraries, and they have some free stuff. BBC Orchestra is also free on there. Which I have as well. Anyways, let's get back to the songs. But I want to show you anytime, like, what do I get for like good sounding instruments? Probably one of the best that you're going to get for a free instrument on there. All right, we got Lexi by Rilee right here in the chat. Let me get this pulled up over here. Let me see. Let me pull it up on Spotify. Let's get this loaded up. Lexi. Beautiful. All right. My keyboard. Why does TikTok not let me read the whole thing? Hold on. My keyboard is on the fritz, so if I'm not responding, I swear I've listened to the video. Okay, sounds good. That's a great quick reminder. Excuse me. Quick reminder that if you miss anything, if for any reason you have to leave for any reason, or I have to get off at the end of the day, or if your Wi-Fi went out for a moment, or you had to like grab lunch and we were in the middle of your breakdown, every single one of these live streams is saved as a VOD to YouTube. So if you want to go back, you can go to the Track Talk live stream playlist. This will be episode 104 or something close to that. And you can go back and reference your entire thing. You don't have to worry about like taking notes and like screen recording and stuff like that. Every single one of these are saved over there. That way you just know exactly where to go. Air Studios, I believe, is their go-to. Yeah, Air Studios, Abbey Roads. There's a whole bunch of them. They've done some stuff with East West, Abbey Roads, Air Studios. They've done some fantastic stuff. All right. This is Lexi by Rilee, DeAnna. And then Rilee, give me some details as far as structure as well. And the role the thing that I always ask people is the role that you play in your music. Whether that's you on the production, whether you're hiring producers, whether it's a BeatStars lease or a YouTube MP3, or you're going to a studio, you're self-engineering, you're working with an engineer. Give me some details, give me some context on kind of what I'm listening to and the role that you play in it. Let's get into it. This is Rilee, DeAnna. The song is out, and the song is called Lexi. Let's get into it.
Combs her hair as she, Lexi combs her hair as she stares into the mirror, fogging up in your apartment while you drink your shower beer. Does she know that I stood in her shoes? Lexi sipping whiskey while you're teaching her some pool, masquerading like a cowboy. Aren't you just so fucking cool? Does she know that I stood
Great voice.
in her shoes?
Love the LFO there too.
Lexi's bright and shiny, she's in touch and she's in use. Fresh out of the box, I bet she still believes in you. But Lexi's stand-up guy gave her hand-me-down shoes. Lexi's gazing starry-eyed up at her perfect man while you paint her pretty pictures about the faded promised land. Does she know I stood in her shoes? Lexi's riding shotgun long as you don't leave the state. Brush it off and sway with liars trying to tarnish your good name. Does she know I stood
Nice.
in her shoes? Lexi's bright and shiny, she's in touch and she's in use. Fresh out of the box, I bet she still believes in you. But Lexi's stand-up guy gave her hand-me-down.
I love it, Liz. I love it. That's perfect. That's perfect.
So you push me aside like some watered down rye, like I wasn't your type. Clearly that was a lie, 'cause she's wearing my size and it fits her just right. She's the love of your life, or at least just for tonight. Lexi shines so bright.
Good song structure.
Lexi needs a t-shirt after giving you her nights. Slips over her shoulders, the one that I left behind, and it fits like a glove. Who knew?
Love the space. Love the ambiance there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Y'all, please show some love. I know I asked questions and you said your keyboard wasn't working, so I know I was waiting for things that you don't have the capacity to write. So I apologize. I was like, wait, hold on. You just told me that it was difficult to type. Please show some love to Rilee, DeAnna right there in the chat. Amazing song. The song is called Lexi, period. If you want to type it in exactly, the song is released. It is out on Spotify, so please go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, go follow on DSPs, follow on social platforms, so on and so on. But that is Rilee, DeAnna. The song is called Lexi. This one is straight from the top. Now, this is obviously a very, what's up, Reed? This is a very polished record. This is obviously a professional production, great song structure. You're a great songwriter as well, a great storyteller. A lot of this feels incredible. incredibly polished and well structured. So there's a couple tiny little details that I want to get into, but for the most part, it's a very mature record as far as what's happening in the instrumentation, what's happening in the vocal structure. There's a couple little things that to me are a little limiting just as far as harshness goes. So it's difficult to push the volume on this a little bit louder. And because there's a couple things that are happening within the vocal, maybe a few things in the production, but it's a very nice mix. It's a very well balanced mix as far as levels go. So yeah, there's a lot about this that I'm really enjoying. You should be very proud of this record. I'm surprised you have 50 monthly listeners for a song that does have this level of polish and this level of like instrumental quality, especially as well. I would expect a little bit more. So I'm excited for you. I know you said this is some of your, did you say your first EP? Let me double check over here real quick. On the review, hold on, let me see. One of the first singles of my debut album out this summer. Yes, I mean, so these are early records. So the fact that this is an early record for you, and you're doing the things that you're doing, I think is really impressive. So let's get into it. Let's run it back from the top. Let's dive into some of the details. But overall, really well structured song as well. So I'll give it up one more time for Rilee, DeAnna, and let's run it from the top.
Lexi combs her hair as she stares into the mirror, fogging up in your apartment.
Let's go, Reed. I'm so glad. Thank you for tapping back in. I appreciate you saying that.
Does she know that I stood?
First off, again, I could tell you're working with a great producer. This is a really well structured acoustic record early on. Beautiful double tracking, perfect double tracking. It's wide, it's crispy. It's got a great energy and a great texture to it. So like instrumentally right off the bat, we have this beautiful space with these drone pads in the background. We have this really beautiful open structure for the acoustic guitars. All that's amazing. Very well structured. Sounds awesome. The one thing that I wish, or one of the very few things that I wish I had out of this vocal here, your voice is awesome. Your writing is awesome. Your melodic choices, I think, are really intuitive. I'm not mad at anything I'm hearing from like an actual vocal execution standpoint. On the mixing side, to me, it's a little over bright and a little bit, there's some harshness as well, kind of in the 5 to 6K range, some sibilance that kind of cuts through. I would love just a hair more softness at the top of the vocal. Even just a hair of like harmonics and saturation would help kind of fill in some of those voids, help soften some of that transient response at the very top of the vocal. And then if 10K is pushed, 6 dB to give you a bunch of air at the top of the vocal. You already have a very airy vocal, and it sounds like you're recording into a fairly bright microphone. I don't think you need, excuse me, I don't think you need a ton of that openness at the very top of the mix. So I would love to just soften that a little bit. You do have a great voice, and this is a really warm, kind of ambient production. It's got a lot of space. Environmentally, it feels really good to listen to. And so when that vocal comes in with a little bit of harshness, to me, it kind of pulls me out just for a moment. So specifically where that sibilance range is, 4, 5, 6K, a little bit of softness from a de-esser could be helpful. A little bit of harmonics, softening some of the high push on the vocal, just a couple dB. Like I said, if it's at 6 or 7 dB up at 10K, 9K, something like that, bringing that down a couple dB and just warming up this mix a little bit. Right now, it's beautiful production, beautiful vocal structure, but a little bit bright and a little bit brittle in some pockets in there that I would love to feel just a little softer, a little warmer, a little easier to listen to. I think if that were the case, then it'd be runaway. It'd be so, and it already is a really beautiful record. But to me, it would just be so much easier for people to get this out there. It's going to be easier for them to put in playlists just because there's nothing brittle, nothing harsh at all that they're going to have to listen to. That's one of the very few things that I would change about this.
In her shoes.
Yeah, if y'all want to submit, Reed, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for tapping back in, and thank you for the kind words as well. Blessings to you as well. Yeah, if anybody would like to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. There's also, synth is one of my favorite things in the world, if you can't tell by my background. Well, it's not my background, it's my room. But it's one of my favorite things in the world. I love these little textures in the synths in the background. You have these like slow moving, distorted portamentos that are happening in the background between multiple octaves. It sounds like pitch wheel adjustments that those little portamento bends are beautiful. And then also moving in, probably happening on the modulation wheel, but moving in some LFO there as well. This starts to give it some wobble and give it some kind of staccato in there. There's these beautiful textures and ambiance within the synthesis that I think is really well done as well. It doesn't really take over the mix, but it does add a lot of color and a lot of texture to the mix that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite things about, ambient, synths and stuff like that. It's one of my favorite things in the world. So I love all those little details in the background as well. I feel like those are done really tastefully.
Lexi sipping whiskey while you was teaching her some pool, masquerading like a cowboy. Aren't you just so fucking cool? Does she know that I stood
Vocal's great though.
in her shoes?
Awesome. There's a little LFO. What's up, Zips? What's up, man? Yeah, production structure is beautiful. Like I said, there's a couple moments in here, like top end of opening the acoustic guitars, top end of the synths. Some of this might even just be happening on the master, like a Pultec style EQ curves, thick low end, 100 hertz and below. 10K, 12K at the top end, a little crispy. Personal preference, I'd like that a little bit softer, a little bit warmer, easier to listen to. Chuck, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that so much. But those are very, very few things, very, very few things, and they're very subtle details as well. The overall aesthetic of the song, the overall just mood and feel of the production, I think is absolutely beautiful. It's really, really well done. Right here in the middle, right? So we have a couple things that happen, right? We bring in a lot of ambience from the vocals, some separation. So like tight plate reverbs on the vocals, separated back, especially with these doubles. They're not like long tail hall reverbs that are, reflecting for a long period of time, but there's a lot of depth created with the vocals. Love that. That gives the mix a ton of space. I still, again, this is taste. This is personal preference. This is not like a right or wrong thing. I personally would still love a little bit more clarity and separation from the lead vocal. I still want all of those reverbs. I still want that like really tight, like doubled stack on the outside of the mix. That gives you some of that ambiance and gives you the width that you're looking for on the vocal mix side. But I still wish I could distinguish that lead vocal with a little bit better separation and clarity in the middle of the mix. So maybe still have your vocal and a double of that vocal right in the middle or close to the middle of the mix forward by another 2 dB or so we can regain some of that clarity, supported by these like tight plate reverbs and stuff like that on the outside, giving it some structure, but not necessarily taking over the mix. Once these vocals come in, you have this really direct verse, right? Like this. This is like, you can hear just because of some of the plosives in the vocal that this is really close proximity to the microphone. You're nice and tight in the structure right there. Vocal is really crystal clear and clean. And then on the hook, everything kind of takes a backseat where we now get all of this separation. We get all of this depth now, but we lose some of the directness. So the vocal, all of a sudden, all of the vocals now sound like they're 12 feet away, which is a cool effect to have, but we lose a little bit of the dynamic. We lose a little bit of kind of the clarity of the lead right there. So in my opinion, I still want the vocals that are 12 feet away. I still want that depth and that, kind of the openness in the mix, but with those additional vocal layers that come in, because they're beautiful, great harmonies, great structure in the background. I still want a slightly more forward lead vocal in the middle. Again, strictly personal preference. It'll just keep the listener closer to the song. You won't separate as much from kind of the production that we're hearing here. It'll keep you a little bit more engaged with that lead vocal during these your main hooks and stuff there. I struggle a lot with harsh vocals. Could you help FL Studio? Harsh vocals, there's a lot of nuance to that. Some of it's going to come down to your vocal, your mic, your room, and the technique that you're using to record with. So I would start with the basics. Your source is the first step in your analog chain. So when you're recording, focus on your proximity. Make sure you have diffusion. The angle and distance and proximity that you have from the microphone and the microphone that you're choosing to record into is your first step in creating the sound that you want. So if you're finding that things are really sibilant, you're using a cheap microphone that has it's over indexing on the high end of the vocal in order to, make you still want to listen to it. If you have like a cheaper microphone, it's $100 and below or something like that, or even, $200-300 and below, oftentimes they're going to be very, very bright at the top end in order to compensate for, a lack of certain circuitry and stuff like that. So if that is the case, then you just probably need to test different environments, different spaces within your home or your studio where you're recording, maybe getting a little bit farther away from the microphone, making sure you have good diffusion either through like a cloth double filtered, different like forms of diffusion, a pop filter, stuff like that. Angle the microphone slightly down a little bit as well. You can tell a little bit on this microphone, this angle's a little bit different. But on my microphone, it's usually, 10 to 15% angled down like this. My goal is to create multiple stages of like diffusion of some of the harsher elements of my vocal, usually plosives and sibilants, P's, B's, S's, T's, C's, K's, stuff like that. Those consonants tend to be, they have more energy behind them, more wind behind them. They tend to be harsher on the diaphragm of the microphone. So little things like that, like those are your first steps. And then of course there's processing. If you need a de-esser on the vocal after that, if you need to, whatever you need to do in order to like mitigate, low end boom and mud, high end harshness and stuff like that. There's of course tools in order to do that and mitigate some of those issues. But the first step The first step is you. The first step is your vocal, how you sing, where you sing, what you're singing into, and your relationship to the microphone that you're singing into. That'll be my first recommendation before I say to go get a bunch of other plugins or something like that. The source matters over anything. What's up, Y? It's so good to see you. Introverted Heart, good to see you in here as well. Y, I appreciate you tapping in. I was writing a musical here on TikTok, and instrumental I just sent is one of the songs. I appreciate that. Thank you for sending that in. Okay. Let's get a little deeper into this record. I think I've addressed most of the things that I want to, so let's get into kind of the middle of the song here. But it's a great song. I mean, it's Rilee, you're doing an awesome job. You're doing an awesome job. Seriously, great vocal performance. It's a beautiful production. Layering is really, really nice. There's like a couple little details within like the vocal production itself. I personally would like small changes too, but it's really, really well done.
Lexi's bright and shiny, she's in touch and she's unused. Fresh out of the box, I bet she still believes in you. But Lexi's in the guy,
Philip, got you.
So you push me aside, like some watered down rye, like I wasn't your type. Clearly that was a lie, 'cause she's wearing my size.
Mordecai, thank you for the roses. Appreciate it.
Fits her just right. She's the love of your life, or at least
Beautiful.
just for now.
Great dynamic range here. Again, there's a lot that I love about this.
So bright. Lexi needs a t-shirt after giving you her nights. Slips over her shoulders, the one that I left behind, and it fits like a glove. Who knew?
Great space here. Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Y'all, please show some love. Show some love. That is Rilee, DeAnna. The song is called Lexi. It is out on all platforms, so please go stream it. Go like it. Go add it to your playlist. Go follow on DSPs. Follow here on social media, of course. If she's able to hop back in the chat, I know she was kind of in and out because of her keyboard. But please show some love to Rilee. Amazing job. I can't wait to hear more from you. You're obviously very, very talented. You're also working with some really talented engineers and producers. Absolutely love it. You know, outside of even those like tiny little nuanced details that, you know, each individual can decide whether or not they cares about. I'm really, really enjoying the work that you're putting into your music. You can tell that it's inspired. You can tell that you really love what you do. So keep doing what you're doing. Show some love to Rilee. Let's get into the next song. Tep, let me know if you're in the building. Tep, let me know. Gracie, thank you for the follow. Tep, let me know if you're in the building. If not, we're going to move to the next one here. If you would like to submit your music, I will be closing up the line here in just a little bit. And just a little, within the next couple songs, we'll be closing the line. If you would like to submit, everything is at the link in my bio. If you would like the full consultation like we're doing right now, of course, you can submit into that space. What if I miss you for the rest of my life? Then don't. Make sure that you're following. If you want to submit your music for, especially the detailed consultations that we're getting into right now, everything's at the link in my bio. They're 20 to 30 minutes a piece. They're a multiple listen, deep dive into the structure of your music. And for those of you who don't know, if you're coming in for the first time, my name's Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. It's what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm a classically trained musician. So the whole structure of this live stream is just to get into the details of your music, offer some actionable feedback, and hopefully, offer some tools and some value that would really, really benefit you. Last time you have to hear hello, Daniel. Sounds good. Bitlip, you made it. I got you on the board. You're ready to go. And of course, like I said, if you want to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. If you ever want to move around, of course you can. If you want to go faster, move yourself forward in the line, that's always a choice that you have as well. Let's get into it. I'm going to go straight into Daniel's track here. Alone, Again, Super Deluxe. let's get into it. Let's see what we got here. Sorry you have to listen to this again. Don't be sorry. You're totally fine, man. Trust me, you're not alone. I just saw Aiton's name pop up in the chat. We have heard some songs many, many different times. So you're not alone in sending revision after revision. It happens all the time. You're not alone. So don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I appreciate it. Sorry you have to listen to this again, but I just need some final advice. We are reaching the end now, and we are all happy with the sound of the vocals after making some additions you asked for and where they are at now. I'm just looking for some final adjustments and advice on the mix. If there needs any volume adjustments or EQing before we send it out to get it mastered. Let's get it. This is Alone, Again, Super Deluxe version. I've heard it a couple times for those of you who don't know. So there's certain things I'll bypass just because we've talked about it a lot, but of course we're going to get into kind of the main structure of it here. But this is Alone by Daniel Kearney, who's right here in the chat over on TikTok. I do love this song. Is it Leighton? Am I saying that correctly? Welcome in. Thanks for tapping in on the Purple app. Appreciate you being here.
There was a time I'd make you believe in me. Now it's like, what does she see in me? How do I get it right? Tried my best, but you couldn't help me see it's too far gone. And why did I lie when I told you it was meant to be? Thought I was lost, I needed you most. Things are so helpless, you were my ghost. And I just knew I don't wanna be alone.
Doubles are better there. Doubles are definitely better there.
Are you an angel? What makes you so pure? There are some things I can't ignore. And I just knew I don't wanna be alone.
Let's go. I'm excited, man. This is already sounding a lot smoother.
Woke up this morning to the sounds of your calls. I was screaming your name, couldn't see what I'd lost. You were there, but I could just see through. It's not that I just wanted you back. I was so scared from the ghosts of your past. I just needed this nightmare to end. Thought I was lost, I needed you most. Things are so helpless, you were my ghost. And I just knew I don't wanna be alone. Are you an angel? What makes you so pure? There are some things I can't ignore. And I just knew I don't wanna be alone.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. That keeps so much more information in the mix for the whole song. I like that. Show some love, y'all. Show some love, show some love. Get these gnats out of here. All right, let's get straight into it. Excuse me. Let's get straight into it. We should be able to go a little bit faster on this one too, just because I'm mainly just going to touch leveling here because most of what you want to do in the production is present in the production the way that you want it to be there. So I'm not going to really touch that too much. Since I've already heard a couple versions of the song, I mainly want to touch levels as we kind of go through the song. The biggest thing that I want to, I'll pocket a couple things as we first address it, and then we'll go back through and we'll chop through it a little bit. Lead elements, make the lead elements. So when the lead guitar comes in and the interlude, that can go forward just a little bit more. When you do those vocals at the end, push those forward a little bit more. Make sure they feel really confident. They feel intentional, that they're there on purpose. Make sure that people can hear them, understand kind of what's happening there. Especially the higher layers to it. So the lower octave, you can maybe step back. It can kind of stay where it's at. But the lead, right? So the top, the little top one right there, keep that a little bit more forward, that lead acoustic a little bit more forward on the interlude right there. And then I think most of your layers, like on the hook specifically, maybe they can come forward a little bit more. I wouldn't mind if they were a little bit more forward. Even if you don't do that, I would maybe come back on the lead vocal. The lead vocal is very, very forward. It's very, very prominent. And since it's a fairly dry lead vocal, it's not like it's washed in reverb and it doesn't have, like a ton of reflection and delays. It's there, but it's very subtle. Because it's a fairly dry vocal, it feels very pointed in the middle. So even just bringing that back by 2 or 3 dB, kind of reconnect everything to the production again. From there, you should be able to push for a louder master with a better balance, with everything feeling a little bit more connected and a little bit more cohesive. That to me right there, those are kind of like the bullet points of what I'm hearing so far, having already gone through this production, a bunch of different times. I feel like right there is just a couple little bullet points to like rebalance the mix so nothing's too punchy and standing out. And some of the elements that are a little bit farther back in the mix have a little bit better support. Beyond that, I think most of what you have that we've already talked about, I think is right where you want it to be. You can focus on like loudness and opening this up on the master side, and you'll be ready to go as far as kind of the vision that you have for it. So let's run it from the top. This is Alone. This is Alone by Daniel Kearney right here in the chat. Love what you're doing, man. Love all these little changes that you've made to this record as well, man, to kind of bring it back under control and put it in a place where you feel like it's really, really well supportive of your vocals. So great job, man. Really, really great job. Let's run it from the top and let's dive into it.
There was a time I'd make you believe in me. Now it's like, what does she see in me? How do I get it right? Tried my best, but you couldn't help.
So this can come, again, it can kind of, it's going to have a little bit more impact as well, of course, as we get to the hook, because you're stacking more vocals, so obviously it's going to feel more prominent. But even in here, we can restrain lightly, not too much. I don't want to dive in the mix, but lightly just to kind of reconnect everything, and then of course we can kind of build from there.
Help me see it's too far gone, and why did I lie when I told you it was
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that.
Thought I was lost, I needed you more.
Because right here, because there's so much more projection. There's so much more energy behind that vocal performance now. Once you go to the higher register, and you go into the falsetto, there's so much more energy behind the vocal there that, of course, it's going to feel like it's a couple dB louder, unless you have like really, really, really good dynamic control through compression, which of course is maybe part of the equation. But even so, just bring this vocal back just a couple dB on this hook, balance it with the rest of the production. Still will have great clarity, 100%. And then you can kind of push once you get to the mastering side, of course, and even through the mix as you're balancing everything, you'll be able to push your loudness and your openness quite a bit more.
Things are so helpless.
Everything's at the link in my bio. I'll be closing the line in the next couple songs. And then I still want a little bit more support for that. I mean, it's so much better. I still want a little bit more support. Right now, again, it's forward. So part of that is that it's still a little bit alone in the mix in the middle right there. I want more support from those background vocals personally. So either a little bit forward and or a little bit forward on those backgrounds. So again, there's more support on the outside of the mix with those melodies and or, back by, a dB and a half, 2 dB on the lead vocal, just to kind of bring it back, back into balance there.
Are you an angel? What makes you so pure? There are some things I can't ignore, and I just knew I don't wanna be alone.
And then push that forward. Another maybe 2 or 3 dB on that lead right there. Get that at the front of the mix. So that's your new top line, right? That's your new lead element. Even a little bit more dramatically forward. That'll sound great. Nothing too crazy. Literally 2 or 3 dB. Beautiful. It's a great melody.
Woke up this morning to the sounds of your calls. I was screaming your name, couldn't see what I'd lost. You were there, but I could just see through. It's not that I just wanted you back. I was so scared from the ghosts of your past. I just needed this nightmare to end.
Wait, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. My brother made the lead line, and he was actually just using it as a placeholder. It's such a good lead. That dun dun dun. That lead line is so clean. It's so clean. To me, it's one of my favorite because it is the accent point of a lot of the other vocal lines that you do. So to me, it's such a clean, distinct lead line. I love it, man. I love it. I would definitely hang on. Definitely hang on to stuff like that.
Thought I was lost, I needed you most. Things are so helpless, you were my ghost, and I just knew I don't wanna be alone. Are you an angel? What makes you so pure?
Everything's at the link in my bio. I will be closing the line in the next couple songs, but if you all want to submit for the consultation portion, you still can at the link in my bio. And go as fast or as slow as you want to go there. And I would still, so here on this part, I don't know if we mentioned this last time, I would still have the dun, 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 dun. I would still have that melody with the guitar. I would literally, you don't have to, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this, but I would copy it over and I would have both. So I would just go back, to me, that acoustic guitar line is like the post hook. That is like your tag, your interlude at the end of every hook. It's your whole post hook right there. So I wouldn't neglect that at the end of your second hook right here. After the I just want da, 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 da. After you do that last melody, I would love to hear that acoustic again. I would love to just bring that back one more time as the vocal is playing. So you'll get the energy, because then it feels like a climax, because you had the acoustic guitar, which is pretty sharp. It's pointy, right? It cuts through the mix in a beautiful place without the vocal. And then we took away the guitar and added the vocal, which is very airy and it's very soft. So you don't get the climax of the song, of this last hook, feeling like it has that much more energy behind it, that much more prominence, and that much more vibrancy. So I would love to have the acoustic and the vocal. That way you get both. You get this big burst of energy at the end of the song that just feels airy. It feels spacious. The vocal is following the guitar melody. I think that would be absolutely gorgeous, because I love this ending. I love this ending vocal line, especially paired with the acoustic guitar. Exactly. So you get this huge swell of energy, and then exactly like you said, everything resolves. Melodies are great. And again, background can probably stay closer to where it is. Low octave can stay closer to where it is. But the higher ones can be forward 2, 3 dB, kind of like we're talking about some of the other layers that we have in here. Higher layers can be 2 or 3 dB forward with the acoustic guitar, also 2 or 3 dB forward from the first interlude after the first hook. All of that can be like forward. All of that can have some more energy behind it. And that will make these moments in the song a lot more impactful in the mix. It'll be a lot more impactful in the production structure. It'll feel more emotional because those lead lines will really take over for that lead vocal. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. Daniel Kearney, the song is called Alone. I've heard it a couple times before, so we're skipping through a couple things here. But the overall structure of that, man, I think is right where it needs to be. A couple small changes in leveling to make sure everything feels as connected and as balanced as possible. And of course, the guitar over to the end of the song. Create as good of a balance as possible. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to pursue whatever amount of loudness and kind of energy and vibrancy you want out of your master in the next stage there. But man, please show some love to the family. Daniel Kearney right here in the chat. Appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you for sending that in again. Thank you. Is it Caleb? Thanks for tapping in. Popstar, is it Akutaka Simperna, I believe. I know I'm butchering your name. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the follow as well. You can absolutely send demos. You're hearing a demo right now. The song that we just heard, most people send demos since we do a lot of breakdowns. If we're doing the consultation side, we're doing deep breakdowns and consultations on the structure of your mix, production, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, really getting into the details. We spend about 20 to 30 minutes on your song, going through it 2 or 3 different times, which is why people send in demos. A lot of people send in works in progress so that we can dive into those details before it gets to the the distribution stage, or you're sending it to your engineer or whatever it may be, or you're engineering it yourself. But y'all, man, please show some love to Daniel. Let's keep it rolling. Tep, no, let me know if you're back. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I'm going to close the line probably after the next song or so. I love it. Caleb, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. Hopefully release that next month. Band's first song. Let's go. Lil Popstar, thank you for the follow as well. Gabby, thanks for tapping in. But yeah, everything's at the link in my bio if you want to submit for a consultation. The free line is closed right now just because we're getting towards the end of the song. I got a handful of tracks left here. But the consultations are still open. So the free line is up to 2-minute listen on your track and then just a quick note on your song. But the full consultation you can still submit for. But I will be closing even those here in the next couple minutes probably. Okay. Let me know if Tep is in the building. If not, we're going to move to Jamie Kearney. We got another Kearney in the building. Jamie, let me know if you're in the chat as well. Let me know if you're here. We're moving and grooving. I appreciate y'all tapping in today. Thank y'all so much for joining. We'll be live again tomorrow as well. Any forward quickly to mine. It's if you learn I sent gifts, gifts in a trillion likes. And when we set goals for it, there's Jamie. I see you, Jamie. I see you. He might be on the YouTube chat. Let's go. Wait, y'all aren't related, are y'all? We might pull from the free line if we have time. If we have time and we reach some goals, maybe. Maybe we can get there. And we'll see how many of the consultations I have time for too. We'll kind of see where we're at. Are y'all? Wait, I forget. That's right. Okay, so this is another one. Is this another one from the band? Let's go. We get essentially 2 from Daniel and Jamie today. Amazing. Fabulous. Let's go. It's getting shady. Welcome in. I'm the guitarist, bass player, producer on Daniel's song Hello. Let's go, Jamie. Shout out to Jamie. Jamie, I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. I appreciate you hanging out over. He's like, he might be on YouTube. And I was like, what premonition? What is that? I got chills. It's a solo project. Okay, let's go. Adrian's in the building. Beautiful. Okay, this is Jamie Kearney. This is an early demo, the title song of an EP that's supposed to have a jokey tone to it, a little tongue-in-cheek kind of a feel to it. I need advice on structure and maybe what I could do better with the synths. Let's go. Synths. I love synths. Solo project. That's my first thing I've produced, Jamie. That's amazing. Props to you. All flowers to you. That's amazing. This is one of my solo songs. This is Jamie Kearney. This is called The Great Manipulator. Let's get into it. Last couple songs here, y'all. If you want to submit for consultations, you still can, but these are our last handful of songs here. Any other details you want me to have? Let me know.
I'm the manipulator. I'm gonna manipulate twisted and turned.
Dude, Fool on a Hill would like what you're doing. It's a band that comes in here all the time. They do it a lot of sync stuff. They have a lot of music kind of in this vein.
But you don't know why. Can I really
What's up, Baby Blue in the building? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome in.
sell out my mother for another deal? Steel in my veins, there's no soul to feel. Puppets on strings in factory lines. March to the heat of my crooked design. Hey there, I'm the manipulator. I'm gonna manipulate you. I'm the manipulator. The great manipulator.
I could hear that, Jamie. I could hear that.
Progress and you say it's a sin. You'll do whatever. So
A lot of the percussion has that kind of old, like I have this. I'm still listening. I get that.
strings with my blood-stained hands. I feed on
I have a couple of these like old like PSS Porta Studio. I have like my SK1, like these like old shitty synths, but they have like great old samples and stuff on them. That's kind of what it reminds me of. And we're back. We just like hit play on like the drum demo on it or something. What's up, Marcus? Welcome in. Everything's at the link in my bio. I like that line. What are you recording your vocals into? I really like that lead line. Nice. Yo, show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is Jamie Kearney. They're over on the Red app right now. Let's get straight into it, man. Let's get straight into it. Bones of this are great. Bones of this are great. So let's get into using 18-20-20 for this, I think. Beautiful. That tells me we have a lot of room to be able to open up some stuff. So let's get into it. The biggest thing for me, there's a sweet spot in all of this of the tongue-in-cheek kind of quirky nature of it and the production structure parts that need more polish and finding the balance between the two. I think that is the challenge, I think, with music like this sometimes, is if it's too polished, then the joke doesn't hit. You know what I mean? Like if it's too clean and too professional and polished, then it doesn't make sense anymore and you lose that air. If it's too loose and like too low fidelity and too all over the place, then it just sounds bad, and then the joke sounds like mistakes. You know what I mean? So like there's a bridge we have to cross right in the middle of making it quirky and interesting. Tep, gotcha. You'll be up next. Of interesting and quirky and having all these interesting things going on, and funny even in some moments, while the structure of it still feels very on purpose and intentional. That's the gap that I want to bridge. Because like I said, if it feels too unintentional, then people will just think it's bad. They'll just think it's bad quality. And again, if it's too far the other way, they're like, is it a joke? Are they serious? And you can't really tell. And so that's what I want to talk about. I've worked with a ton of artists. Like I said, there's an artist that comes, actually a band, they popped in earlier. I don't know if they're still here, but a band that comes in every once in a while called Fool on a Hill. They make some music similar to this. Some of it's kind of tongue in cheek. Some of it, it's got this kind of grungy rock air to it. But they run into that all the time of like, they have a lot of kind of spoken word structure as well, that it can be challenging, right? It can be challenging for them to be like, how do I bridge this gap from cheesy to this is still serious, we're a serious band and we're good musicians and I still want this to sound good. At the same time, I still don't want to lose my edge and kind of like the aesthetic of what I'm doing. System 5 Radio, thanks for tapping in over on the Purple app. Type !submit. !submit over on the Purple app will give you the link that pops up. Keep in mind that currently speaking, the free line is closed. We are only open for submissions for the next couple minutes or so for the consultations, which are the deep dives, the long form breakdowns of your music. So if you want to get in for the long form breakdowns, they're 20 to 30 minutes, multiple listen, long form analysis of the structure of your music. It's been a real struggle trying to balance it out. I got you. So what I want to do is I want to make sure the production is a big part of this. Production and mix are kind of the two big parts of this, right? Of course, your vocal execution, but vocal production is going to be huge. The production itself is going to be huge. You want that to feel really solid and really impactful so that whatever you put over the top of it feels like it has grounding. It feels intentional and it still feels strong. If the production feels kind of unstable and it feels kind of loose and random, then especially on top of that, a looser, more random, quirky vocal is going to be challenging to ground within that. So what I would love to hear is maybe a couple layers of percussion here. So we'll talk about some of the production here. And again, I'll speak to some things that are very stylistic. This is very much up to you, right? Like I'll say some things where if you don't like that idea, just ignore it. They're not things that you have to have or things that you like need to have in your song. They're ideas. If anything, I would love to just get your own wheels spinning. As far as like, oh yeah, that might be a good idea. Maybe not that, but I'll try this other thing. But don't feel like I'm telling you things that like have to exist in your song or anything like that. It's you're the creative, you're the artist. I want you to do what feels authentic to you. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into the details of this one, man. Once again, this is The Great Manipulator by Jamie Kearney. They're over on the Red App. Show them some love and support. Tep, I see you back in the building, man. You're gonna be coming up next. Like I immediately love this like filtered, crunchy, nasty sample drum. Like to me, it's fantastic. It's so good. I love everything about that right there. On the vocal side, really quick. So we'll dive into a couple things, and I'm going to pull up a plugin here real quick because there's something that I can imagine you layering here as well. So we're going to go to a TR-707. This is a vintage Roland drum machine. And we're going to do a compressed and wide one. I love the TR-707. Let's see. Okay, that's in the world. That's in the world that we're living in here. Let's back this off here a little bit here. Okay. Bring the levels down. It's compressed, it's saturated. Okay, let's get back into the song here. So from a vocal standpoint right now, you have these low layers, these low octaves. Nothing wrong with that. They're very, very muddy right now. I would bias towards, sorry, I feel like I'm losing my voice, these allergies or something. I would bias towards less reverb and stuff like that and better punch and clarity. You can add in reverb, but get your structure down really, really clean and then add in delays and reverbs and stuff like that. Get these vocal stacks really, really clean. There's a lot of low-end mud. A lot of that low-end mud is between 100 and 300 hertz. So right in there, excuse me, yeah, right in there is where a lot of that kind of boom is coming from your vocal. So on your EQ of those vocals, or if you're sending those vocals to a bus or however you're doing it, between 100 and 300 hertz, lower that, like with a bell curve, lower that down just a couple dB in order to take away some of that boominess and some of that mud and regain some clarity for that vocal there. That's going to give you a lot more just of an open, clean vocal sound that you then can affect however you want to. But if it's boomy and it's muddy right there, every reverb and delay that you add to it is going to be reverberating and delaying a muddy, boomy vocal. So you're going to have all of this kind of built up frequency in the low end. That's going to be just, it's going to be very noisy and very busy to listen to. So cleaning up those layers is going to be really tight. And I would also tighten up the performance on the layers as well to make them really, really sharp. I'm going to back it up here just a little bit. Like those melodies in here, I'm a manipulator. You have a lower voice than I do, especially now with my allergies. But get those melodies really, really sharp and really, really together, and lined up exactly where you want them to be. So they're not starting or stopping at different points, but they're really clean and really concise. And then again, get them back down. Abaddon, yeah, 100%. Excuse me. Yeah, 100%. Shoot me a DM. shoot me a DM. Or we can either do one where you send me the song and I can do a detailed email breakdown where I'll give you like a full page of like detailed analytics basically on the structure of your song, things that could improve, timestamps of where I would make some adjustments, whatever it may be, stuff like that. And or I also do like offline consultations like on Zoom and Discord or whatever, where we can do a 2-hour, 3-hour call, talk songwriting, talk mix structure, help you through some details in your production, stuff like that. Yeah, I was having some lazy takes with all that reverb. I really need to do some better recording stuff. Yeah, if you can get sharper, boom, 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 boom. I get some sharp layers in there that are really concise. That's just going to come down to recomping those vocals, right? And getting them a little bit sharper, a little bit more distinct. That's going to help a lot. Track them on the left, track them on the right, and then get them nice and sharp. That's definitely going to help with your production structure.
I'm the manipulator.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Your brain all twisted and turned.
So maybe you keep this slow.
Gonna listen to every word. Feeling uneasy, but you don't know why. Can I really trust
And then B section here. We need to start building a little bit more energy because a lot of the production structure is very dark. It's very mellowed out, right? And so here's where I would love. So you have this really, I really like it. This nice like sample drum in the background. It's very dark and bit crushed and filtered out and stuff like that. I would love like when you start getting into either the B section of your verse or the next hook to open up to a more fully open production structure with maybe a layer of acoustic guitar that's like brighter and thinner that layers on top, so that kind of wakes it up, and then boom 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 boom. And I like you open this up. This is a TR-707. It's like old vintage Roland drum machine. I just have a plugin of, and you can find them in like a lot of even like Logic and stuff. I think they have some emulations of this and stuff like that. And then on your hook, you just like wake up the mix just a little bit here too, so it doesn't feel like it's too much of the same production structure for too long, but it just kind of wakes it up a little bit.
Allow my mother for another deal. Stealing my veins, there's no soul to feel. Puppets on strings and factory lines.
So maybe here.
March to the heat of my crooked design. I'm the manipulator.
Just that.
I'm gonna manipulate you. I'm the manipulator. I call it progressing.
And maybe you're back here. Just like a kick on the floor. You're back to the verse. Maybe you open up that vocal a little bit more so it's a little bit brighter. B section verse. Back. And it just like, however you do, you don't have to use this drum. Again, most of what I want to do is get your wheel spinning and however you want to make it happen. The idea is just to wake up the song a little bit so the whole song doesn't feel like, it feels dark, it feels mellow, it feels dragged on a little bit. Having some elements to just, they pick up the pacing a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. And as it gives it some energy, it gives it a little bit of punch, but it's layered with what you already have. So you can keep some of the acoustic guitars, and then we just add like a new rhythm. So let me go to the piano really quick. So even if you keep your acoustic guitars, and we go. So, and then on the hook, instead of it just being the acoustic guitars, maybe we add a piano. Oops, that's a chord. D minor. Like you have like another. Don't do that. There's some nuance in there. Do that with the synth. Like maybe you have a dun 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 dun. I don't like the piano tone on that necessarily, but a synth. Yeah, LOL. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I like this melody. So like what I'm hearing is an element that sits there. Dun, dun. So over the top of this. That it's like a melody there, right? That just starts to open up the top. Thank you for the follow, Matt. Appreciate it. Open up the top end of the mix there a little bit. So again, so not everything's filtered down. So if you then have a melody, anything up there. I mean, I think like a DX7 style FM bright tiny synth would be kind of cool up there. That layered with bringing in these like having that, like those two layers over your bass and acoustic with the sequence drums underneath it, with more open, brighter, less reverberated stacks of vocals that are really, really punchy. That feels like a different song to me. That feels way more awake. Matt, thank you for the galaxy. Mad VO, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that more than you know. Satire, welcome in as well. It could be a lyrical melody. I think it could be a lyrical melody. Sounds good with your vocal. Yeah, you could definitely do that with a vocal. You could absolutely open that up quite a bit, right? In a way that feels a little bit more conducive to the song. But the other thing, I know a lot of these are scratch vocals, like you said. Matt, I appreciate you so much. Like you said, a lot of these are scratch vocals. So I would make sure that when you introduce these manipulator vocals in the background here, that they have a little bit of punch, right? And again, you can comp in a little bit more tastefully so you don't feel like you have to record the whole thing out once. And let me hear the introduction here. And on these ha's that you have on the outside, stack like 8 of those and make them punchy and sharp, right? Ha, ha, ha. Like, again, you can create the joke, but do it in a really high quality, quirky, interesting, kind of eerie way. And it takes on a life of its own, right? Maybe it's a little Broadway, but like it gives this kind of, again, a little tongue-in-cheek, little quirky, kind of funny song structure. But it also, you do it in a way where it's like, this could be a TikTok sound. This could be something that's placed, something that's synced. It could give you something that's a little bit different than maybe what you currently have, but it gives it some directness and it makes it feel a little bit more intentional, a little bit more direct in the way that you're structuring those background vocals. So it's not like one over here with a bunch of reverb. It's stacks of them that are intentionally giving you parts of your vocal production structure. Victor, how you doing? Joe's in the building. What's up, Joe? I hope you're doing fabulous, man. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing fantastic, man. It's been a great day. It's been a productive day. We're working like crazy. I got some new gear coming into the studio soon. New fun toys coming in soon. I'm putting in the order tonight, so I'm very excited. I'm gonna get the ideas moving from me again with this song. Let's go, Jamie. Let's go, Jamie. I love to hear. Okay, let's get into the last part of the song here. But again, stack where you need to, be direct and pointed where you need to, and then be melodic where you need to. But the contrast between the two, I think, is where it's gonna be really fun. Let me know if you ever want new gear. I can pull some strings. Yeah, dude, talk to me. Let me know. Caden Smith in the building. Semtrian, welcome in as well. What kind of strings we're talking about here? I'm always looking at stuff. I mean, I'm largely by used, largely just because I'm always buying and trading and bartering and stuff like that. Do you do song requests? We do consultations. Sorry, dudes, these allergies are beating me up. I'm so sorry for clearing my throat so much. So they're not just requests here in the chat. Currently, we're getting in towards the tail end of our last couple songs here. Please don't spam the chat as well. I appreciate y'all tapping up, but don't spam the chat. I use all the, yeah. I think 99% of what I have in my studio, I have bartered, trade, bought, sold, for everything. I mean, this everything, dude, quite literally everything. I have a couple new things in here that I've bought and sold, but they're only, I mean, Yeah, I think one of the only things that I got new was the Poly D. The Poly D I did get new, because quite honestly, it was cheaper to get new than it was to buy used at the time because no one was selling them. So if people were selling them for like $800 and new, they were like, I got that for like 600 or something like that. But anyways, okay, let's get into the last section of the song here really quickly. But hopefully that gets your wheel spinning a little bit. I think the more purposeful and intentional you are with what you do and why you do it, even if it's fun and quirky, it's spot on. I'm gonna use a very, very loose example because you're Osman. Thank you for the follow because you're not trying to be Michael Jackson obviously at all. But I'm gonna give you an example. If you watch interviews, oftentimes of the producers and musicians that worked, if you watch some Anthony Marinello videos on. Marinelli videos on YouTube. He's one of the synthesists. He did a lot of the synth programming he did it for Thriller and a bunch of other crazy records. I think some Prince records. Like he's a monster synthesist. One of my favorites in the world. He's broken down. My brother's Michael Jackson. This is a 1-to-1 comparison. He has broken down with the keys and synth players like the songs that they did. It's amazing. It's so fun to watch. But one of the things that he talks about, one of the things that the musicians and producers that worked with Michael talked about, and this is a loose connection here, but just, bear with me, is even the funny, quirky, interesting, weird things that Michael did were on purpose. They were planned out every single time. So every little he and every little vocalized element in the song, every little grunt and every little ad lib, all of that was like planned out. I'm doing it here in this way, Compton spliced in. Like they were not like just let me just vibe. They were vibe stuff maybe initially, but they were locked in exactly where it's going to be. I want you to have a little bit of that here. I want you to have fun with it. I want you to structure it well. I want you to have the quirkiness and the interesting parts of it, and then be like, oh yeah, that was interesting and quirky. Now let me execute that intentionally on purpose in the best way possible, layered well, compartmentalized in the mix, and set into space. And I think if you can do that, then this will make sense to people more instead of it just being funny and quirky and then not getting the quality side and it not quite connecting, which I think is the issue that a lot of people have when they're trying to make kind of tongue-in-cheek or like funny music or whatever it may be, or they're just kind of trying to be a little bit goofier with their production structure, whatever it is, right? And I've worked with a lot of people kind of in that space, especially through the consultation format. And I think the bridge that you kind of have to walk over and that you have to get to the other side of is connecting the two worlds of palatable production quality at the same time as having quirky creative choices. If you can do those two things well and intentionally, I think it'll be fine. Whether it goes the Broadway more dramatic route, whether it just becomes like a quirky TikTok sound that goes viral, whether it becomes something that people really fall in love with the artistry portion of it as an artist, you never know, right? That's up to the audience. It's up to the market to kind of decide that. The algorithm sometimes to decide that, but you'll have more of an opportunity for that to happen in any of those different veins if you're very intentional with like how and why and when you do certain ththings. You also show some love to Jamie. JB, thank you so much for sending that in, man. I'm always a fan of just hearing just like interesting, quirky music, man. To me, it just keeps you on your toes a little bit, as opposed to hearing like the exact same sound design choices, exact same vocal choices all the time. I love getting to have some like interesting, nuanced things happening in your music, man. So please show some love. Jamie Kearney's over on YouTube right now. They're on the Red app, so show them some love and support. Let's keep going with these last couple songs here. We'll probably close it up here in the next couple minutes with these last few songs. We got a cool goth post new wave song. Yeah, 100%. We got Tep in the building. This is Exiting Suddenly. I'm hoping someone gives me a discount on Reverb here. Exiting Suddenly. This is working on it still need to add effects and ad-libs at the end of the song. All right, this is Tepno in the building. If you don't know Tep is a brilliant musician. He's a brilliant producer. He's got hundreds, you would never know it. But he has hundreds of millions of streams to his name. Hundreds of millions of streams to his name. So definitely show them some love and support. Let's get into it, man. Hey, Daniel, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you tapping in today, man. We're going to get into some ideas. I still love breaking them down. I still love getting into it, man. But I want y'all to know this. This is someone who definitely knows what they're talking about. I love, especially when people come in, it almost makes it even more fun sometimes to really get into the nuances of it. Thanks very much, man, for all the advice on this alone. It's been massively helpful. Hey, thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you so much for sending that in. All right, Tepno, let's get into it. This is Exiting Suddenly. They're just working on some stuff and building out the production structure now. So let's get into it. And if y'all want to submit, y'all probably after the song, I'll close up the line. So if you want to submit for a consultation, this will be your last chance. Everything, let me see. Oh, it's a WeTransfer. Give me a second to get this downloaded. If you want to submit for a consultation, go to the link in the bio. Everything is right there. Everything is right there. Hey, thank you, Retrack, for the heart me, Retrack. Appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tapping in. All right, save. Give it a second. It's downloading. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I got you. I got you. Download complete. Beautiful. Anything you want me to know, you know the deal. Drop it in the chat. What's up, man? I hope you're doing well, Retrack. Hope life is treating you well. Talk to me, Bit. In what way?
See what you want, see what you need.
In what way?
So don't be
Like sending through them? Are they training through it or something like that? Let me know. Yeah, let us know. Headmaster, welcome in. Kara, welcome in as well. Appreciate you being here. Everything's at the link in my bio. I'm going to close the line probably after this song.
afraid to talk to me. I just want you to be confident.
You might have more protections.
You're asking what you can do.
Miles, welcome in.
Don't be when I see you. Got you like my tattoo, babe. Exiting Sunday.
It's everywhere. It's inevitable. Unfortunately, it's everywhere now. Damn. That is good to know. I'm going to pause it for a second just because I want to address it. Han Solo, welcome in. It's unfortunately, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's unfortunately like everywhere. So if it's not something you want to do, it's now in Spotify's distribution fine print as well. So if you put music on Spotify, they have it too. And they can train on it. I know there's Atlantic is trying to do some stuff right now to let people know. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Yeah, it's yeah. Now Atlantic is trying to like show people what data sets have been used to train AI, but they don't have data sets from Suno yet. So people are like, dude, 21 different training, mechanisms were used like on my music, and it's not counting Suno. It's only counting like Moises and Udio or something like that. So it is very frustrating. It is very frustrating because you just can't escape it. You can't escape it. So and now it's like WeTransfer. It's like I bet you somewhere. I bet you it's probably in Apple's too. If you're using, app like iStorage, it's probably in there. Not necessarily that it's used for AI music training, but because they have their AIs now and their AI Siri and whatever. It's probably all baked into that as well. I just don't think that people will listen to AI music so well, but I mean, it's the number one song on iTunes right now in the US, or like maybe some other, I don't know, something is a generated song, something like that. But I just don't like. I think no, you're totally good. I mean, it's a necessary conversation too, but like people listen to it, but I also know that it's also force fed. So I think there's two sides to it, and I am not of the mindset necessarily that all AI music sounds like shit and will sound like shit. It'll sound good and some songs sound good. It's whatever. That's not the reason why I would like or dislike something. It's because of the way that it sounds. Is deeper than that, of course, in a lot of senses. So, I mean, it's going to be two obvious categories. And just briefly, because they're talking about a WeTransfer file where they're talking about how WeTransfer is now using data sets and the files that are transferred with them as sources for like training engines and stuff like that. That's what we're just like loosely talking about. So people will listen. People will listen, but I also just think, yeah, exactly. Like there will just be a little bit of a divide. And then there will be kind of a hybridizing in between, right? That are going to be people that still utilize it. They use both, right? I mean, I know people like this, where they use real instruments. They're a real producer. They whatever, stuff like that. But they want a flute in the background of their song. Yeah, exactly. They're all 100%. Like I know people that are great musicians and they're great producers, really, and they just don't want to pay someone to play flute. They don't want to spend $100 to get a session player, $200 to get a session player. So they generate a flute, and that is how they hybridize. That's how they utilize AI. We're like, oh man, I really wish I had this exact guitar in the back of my song. So they just generate it instead of getting someone to play it or learning to play it themselves. And I know how I feel about how I approach music, and how, what that means to me. I don't expect everyone to feel the way that I feel about it, though. If that is somehow fulfilling to you creatively, then that's up to you. That's up to you to like be fulfilled by that. Like I don't know. Like if it's like fulfilling for someone somehow, or they just find a lot of joy in like making a Marvel movie out of like, I don't know, like Google Gemini videos or something like that. I don't care. I don't personally like value it, as just in the space that I'm in. So anyways, that's besides the point. We're in a different lane right now. I'm going to rewind it a little bit, Tep, and then we'll get into whatever this too. I got married to ChatGPT. There is a way to make AI generate things actually not bad sending. Yeah. There's tools now, and it's only going to get better. The thing that is going to be the most interesting is the training sets, the legalities, the fine print, the credit, the financial distribution of that. I think it's going to be the frustrating thing for people. So if you are a session musician that has played guitar on some amazing songs and you've gotten paid for that, and then someone is quite literally using that, then that's going to be, quite literally using that in a data set, and you're not getting compensated for the fact that you are quite literally a part of another song in some way, shape, or form. And you can't compare it to sampling, because sampling is paid, or should be. It's supposed to be legally. You can fight it. You can get royalties paid out for paying. Some people, they pay billions of dollars a year are paid out for sampling, for royalty payouts and stuff like that. You can compare it to license-free loops and using Splice and stuff like that, because those are also musicians and producers that were paid and have royalty payouts for what they're doing. It's not the same thing, and anyone who says it is they're lying to you. They're very different. And so the thing for me is that people are getting what they're worth. Now we have laws to help protect musicians, and it's being bypassed. And so that's the thing that frustrates me. There's something to be said of ethical AI. I say that loosely, obviously, where you train your own data sets on your own music and your own sounds, and you create your own samples within that. There's something to be said for that. I don't know if I don't think I consciously have an issue with that. But I think it's frustrating that people that have spent their life doing something and are not getting compensated for the work that they're doing. I think that's silly. All right, let's get into this. Anyways, I gotta focus on the song.
You what you can't do. Don't be when I see you. Got you like my tattoo, babe. Accident sun.
I like the progression a lot. The 4-5-6 is nice. Yeah, we can maybe do that depending on who's here. Clear MG. How's V?
You wanna slide? I'll be your mind, get on the ride.
I got you.
Catch you on time. Don't be afraid when I know it was perfect, was nice to meet you. What you say now, we gotta be on the redo. I don't play, but I'm keeping your ass, cause it's out of space and you ain't made a glass. I love you wasted, God, I can taste it.
It's a more intense vocal structure I usually hear from you.
I keep you naked, we me in the basement, flicking the switch and the demons adjacent. We're exiting sunlit.
I don't know. Yeah. Lead melody's great. Yeah, that's like old Ye, LSD. Yo, oops, that's the wrong file. Where did it go? There we go. Y'all show some love. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Okay, y'all show some love to Tefno. That is exiting suddenly, flicking a switch and the demons adjacent. Okay, got you. I'll have to run it back and see what Libby thought you said. Let's run it. Okay, so one of the questions that you had, was there any portions of it that felt dated or anything? Like, for one, your chill house stuff is so in line, in lane. I think Bitlip's gonna close us out, pretty sure. Your chill house stuff, to me, that's your lane. You know that's your lane. Your production structure there is always great. You know, your bass is nice and tight. It's really clear. I really like the production structure there. Percussion also, I think, sounds fantastic there. Where I think, to me, it starts to sound a little bit dated, and dated is a loose term, man. Like, you know, I love the 80s, and also a lot of modern music is like a lot of 80s stuff. Like, listen to the charts right now. Half of it is like 80s sounding music. So dated is a loose term, right? Does it feel dated and not in a good? Yeah, exactly. It's such an interesting concept, right? Because sometimes, does that sound dated? I'm like, well, listen to Sabrina Carpenter's new stuff. Listen to Joe. These are artists that are emulating a lot of 60s, 70s, 80s. There's a lot of 90s rock and stuff. You look at a lot of the new pop stuff. It's a lot of 90s rock, early 2000s EDM and stuff. Dated is a loose term, but not in a good way is the non-scientific way that we dated fusion music, right? But not in a good way, I think, is the line that we cross over sometimes too. So for me, a little bit comes down to, I think most of the production is fine. In my personal opinion, the flip to the trap, the trappy, to me, that's where it starts to feel like this is kind of 2015, 2016, and I don't know if the vocal structure currently supports it. And so there's that little pocket right there. I'm like, I kind of almost thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I kind of wish that we just stuck with the house and did an interlude where maybe we broke it down to just the pad and the pumping bass for a second with an interesting little vocal line, and then went back to the house for a second, and maybe shifted into something else. But that's kind of the pocket that I'm listening for right there, and then really focusing on one thing I would like to hear. And I know you do this in a lot of your songs. I would almost like to hear you sing this, print it, record it, print it, and then sample your own voice. I think, to me, it'd be nice to hear some of these with little chops in there, maybe a slight format shift up, maybe even automation on down and up right there, some different textures in there, so it doesn't just feel that heavy. Yeah, I've definitely heard you sample your voice. It doesn't feel that heavy of a vocal production over such a light, emotional, chill house vibe. It feels very forward and very heavy. I would like for it to feel in my personal opinion, would like for it to feel a little bit lighter, right? So it doesn't feel so in your face and so aggressive. And then that's compounded by moving into the trap beat in the middle there. So how you do that is a lot of different, obviously, methods. But let's run it from the top. We'll get into some of the details there. That's my gut reaction. That's not the right thing. It's just that's my gut reaction. 100%. And another option, I don't know if this is, something you're doing more of, or if you would like to do more of. Another option could be also to bring in a feature for the trap beat thing there too, because I think the connective tissue is your vocal energy or vocal production staying largely the same straight through it, and then the production changing energy dramatically. So I mean, another option would be to bring in a feature like a rapper for that little portion there too, and really shift the energy there. That's that's another option. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I get
I
that.
see what you want, see what you need. So don't be afraid to talk to me. I just want you to.
Early melodies are really consistent. I don't mind like again, this is early. I'm not worried about the mix. These early, scratches and stuff like that. Like consistent melodies and stuff. That's gonna be catchy. That's gonna be mixed and great.
Be confident like you are. You ask you what you can't do. Don't be when I see you. Got you like my tattoo, babe. Exit inside.
Yeah, a little bit of there's a little bit of like your vocal sample in there. I want like a little bit more of that. I can put less auto tune too. Yeah, I mean, I'm viewing this as even if you just mix what you have here, I'm viewing this as kind of a scratch track, even though you might use it to edit. I'm viewing it kind of as a scratch track, and so if you go from 0 retune to like 5 to 10 and like smooth it out a little bit, maybe melodine, get it all placed like really smooth, and then of course once you balance out some of the low end and the vocal and the loudness, because the vocal is it's pretty loud too. Once you get that, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, the retune speed, to each their own. I think it depends on like how snappy you want that retune speed. I think you could probably do it at like 5 to 10 milliseconds, and it'll glide a little bit more. That might be nice. I love this production though. I mean, the 4, 5, 6 in the progression is really, really nice. Again, always feels as a progression that always feels really emotional. The high bell tones over the top is really nice. All of that's super smooth, super smooth. So this is where like I want to hear like this last line of yours. I want to hear sampled in this next section. That's kind of what I'm hearing when I'm talking about sampling your vocal as your lead line. That's what I'm like.
Got you like my tattoo, babe.
Like last line.
Exit inside.
Exactly. Like maybe let this run. Boom, 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 boom. Cool bass line. I hear some of those delays in the background.
Exit inside.
Like you start to bring in some other chops out of that vocal that kind of accents some of those extra little layers in here, builds it out a little bit more. I think that's where you can start to play around with that vocal sample a little bit more. I think that'll be fun. You do it one on the transition. I think it'd be nice to open it up a little bit more there. Production wise though, chef's kiss, dude. It sounds great. It's a really snappy production. Bass sounds great. Exactly. You got it.
You wanna slide. I'll be your mind, get for the ride.
Nice.
Catch you on time. Don't be afraid.
I think once you polish this up a little bit more, right? You already know because you know what you're doing. Once you polish this up a little bit more, compartmentalize it a little bit more, I think we can fine tune this a little bit more. Let's get into the trap part. Again, this is where, to me, when you're talking about dated, not in a good way, this is where I start to feel that a little bit more, where it kind of, and again, this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it starts to feel kind of like an aim at like 2013, Travis Scott or something like that, and it might be part of the intention, but that's where it starts to take a turn that direction to me, and my brain doesn't know if it works yet. So I want to listen to this part again. I feel like every song is new, and I always start from 0. Yeah, I do. I feel that.
When I know it was perfect, was nice to meet you. What you say now, we gotta be on the redo. I don't play, but I'm keeping your ass, cause inside of space, and you ain't made a glass. I love you wasted, gonna get tasted. We be fucking on bills, I keep you naked. We be in the basement, flicking the switch and the demons adjacent. We're exiting sunlit.
So what I'm curious about, and again, just tossing out ideas. Ignore half of them. I'm kind of curious because I really like. Yeah, it is Travis Scott sounding, but yeah, I mean, anytime you add reverb and auto tune, everyone just says Travis Scott. I don't mean to do that, but what I'm kind of curious on is if you could keep most of the same sound design. So like this, if you just had the same instead of the trap beat, if you still just kind of went into a, it's still kind of tight and snappy. And it's still halftime. You still have some of that, but you marry a little bit more of your sound design and chop it in a way that feels still connected to the song a little bit, but not. Hey, Neil, appreciate you tapping in. Welcome in. And also have a nice day as well. Appreciate you being here. So it doesn't feel, because right now it feels like we jumped to another thing, but it's like not quite all the way where I want it to be. And so I think if we bridge the gap a little bit, Living Loud, thank you for the heart, we appreciate it. If we bridge the gap a little bit and bring it kind of back under control, that might also give you better, more consistent layering to figure out exactly what you want to do with the vocals there. Even if you keep a lot of the same vocal structure here, like you said, slightly slower retune speed, and some other parts of your vocal structure that can feel a little bit more connected to the original part of the song. So when you get back into the, this is side of me, you go back into that the vocal sample again, leading into the hook. It doesn't feel like we jumped to a different world, but we just took like a left turn down a different street and then got back on the highway again, as opposed to feeling like, oh, we're kind of in a totally different vein that feels kind of not just different and creative, because that's a whole other thing, right? Where it's like, yeah, this is a plot twist that's really creative and different, that there's that part of it, but the whole vibe of the song, like the reason why I would listen to this techno song is for this chill vibe. And so if like, it's like if you were like, I don't know, if you were like listening to like a chill song that you really, really liked, and then randomly there's a screamo part in the middle of it, you'd be like, whoa, that's not why I was listening to the song. I feel like that pulled me out, as opposed to just another feature in the same vein, and it's connected and there's a through line and it feels really, cohesive and really integrated well. That's kind of what I'm looking. Not this is different than screamo, obviously. I don't mean to be that dramatic, but it's like if we can take them on still, just take the same beat, put it halftime, maybe change the chord a little bit, chop the sample differently, maybe a simpler vocal line over it so it's not too rappy, but it's still a melodic shift, like mold it a little bit to where it's a turn down a different road, but then back into, I think I try new things so a song doesn't, 100%. Totally valid. So that's where I'm like, dude, do the thing, still do the thing, still take the left turn. Keep it from being boring so it's not the same house beat the whole time. But keep similar sound design, slightly similar vocal structure, and then bring us back in with better sampling and a higher dynamic at the very end. And then you're gold. And that's my kind of personal approach to it. Because otherwise, it sounds awesome. It sounds good. I just think if we can marry the two a little bit, you'll be fantastic, man. Fantastic. Let me get into the last portion here.
We be fucking on biz, I keep you naked. We be in the basement, flicking the switch in the Davis adjacent. We're exiting suddenly.
And then when you hit this hook right here, yeah, you're gonna crush this, man. When you hit this hook right here, you can go back into. So you have like two sections of your hook before, where it's like on the second section, you add in the hook, you add in the sample again, like it starts simple, and the second section, add the sample. Right here on the end here, I would like start with the sample right off the bat. Since that vocal comes back in, you're starting right off the bat with like your highest point, and you can always expand from there and have some other layers, some other vocal samples you bring in that are kind of like high falsettos, whatever you want to do. I mean, this would be a part where you can have a little bit more fun, there. Lift a little bit. You can have like a little, whatever, little extra textures up there, stair stepping a little bit right here. Try the edits first and then see. I like it. So, this is my first time listening. Production, I really like. Production, I think, is right in line with what I know is successful for techno. So production is good. Balance on that, I think, is fine. The thing that, like I said, throws me off a little bit is some of the vocal structure. So it's just it's finding a way to make that more cohesive. Try that. Try it. See if you can't get that to connect. See if you can't get that to feel a little bit more cohesive. And then if not, of course, you can always kind of put it You can always kind of put it, on the shelf and see if you want to do something else with it, or keep the production, find another vocal for it, like whatever. You can have some fun with it, or keep the production and add a vocal sample as most of the main line, a main top line. Like obviously, there's a lot of different options for what you want to do. I'm the same way, Tep. I have a drive folder and like a Dropbox full of hundreds of productions that I was like, oh, this isn't my next song, and then literally never touched again. I hate them all now. I move on very quickly from my creative decisions, and then I'm like, oh, this isn't even me anymore, and I have to do the next creative thing. Yes, it is, Christian. And so I'm the same way. So try it out. Try it out. If it works when you try it out and like, oh yeah, this is still pretty vibey, run with it. If not, move on. It's easy to go from this is great to I'm not feeling this. I hate all my undone songs. No, 100%, Louis. It's a nightmare. Like literally, I was going through when I was working out this morning. When I was at the gym, I was going back through just old like drive files on my phone, like listening to stuff when I was in the gym, like going through some old beats and some old songs that I started recording. And I was like, what do I do with these? Yeah, I was like what am I supposed to do with this? Like now, like I have some like finished songs almost, like, and I just like I don't want to like I don't know what to do with them. I'm like I could try to sell them to people, I guess. I could try to like I don't even know. But even then I'm like, ooh, no, I don't want this to be a representation of what I do. Like I just hate it. And there's probably 400 of these. You know what I mean? Like I've produced so many beats and produced so many songs and whatever that I'm just like I don't know what to do with these now. And yeah, sometimes I'm just like I don't know where to go with this. And the moment I thought was the best thing, I go back through it. I'm like, ah. But here's the thing I try to remember too. I think it's good to do stuff and not feel forced. 100%. Yeah, part of it is it's just creative reps. 100%, Tep. I agree with you 1,000,000%. It is just putting in reps as a creative, and that's necessary. It's so necessary. You have to. If I produced only songs that I released, then I would have made a production like 40 times in my life. I've made thousands of productions. So like you have to put in the reps. You absolutely have to. That's so true. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, I just don't know. I don't know like what I'm going to do with them. And it's also hard to like, the thing I'm also trying to keep in mind sometimes is it's new to everyone else. So like the thing that for me is like cringe now and that I like hate everything about right now. I also know that if I put out the song I was producing 4 years ago to everyone else, if I just like mix it well now and I track the vocals well now and mix it well now, it's brand new to the entire, like it's the first time they've ever heard anything. I'll just like update a synth thing, put a good mix on it. And it's like a brand new song to the world. It could go, it could take off, who knows? And so that's the other thing that I wrestle with a little bit. I'm just like, I don't, you don't know. You don't know. You could put the song out and this song could be viral. It could go on a show. It could do something. And you're like, I kind of hated my voice on it. But people liked it, whatever, for whatever reason. Anyways, it's always a little bit of a game you got to play as a creative to decide what do I put out to the world and what do I curate? What do I sell to other people? What do I produce for other people? Like that's the thing. There's a lot of times where like I produce something for someone else and I'm like, I want that. I don't want them to have it. I want this, but then I'd probably forget about it after a while. To me, it doesn't sound like this song. Yeah, this song doesn't. It might not necessarily be a viral song. It could still get commercial use. It could still get some satellite use and stuff like that. But it doesn't have the hook. It doesn't have like the content hook. I think of some other songs that would make it snap like that. But still sounds good. Still sounds good. There's no denying that. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. That's the family. Tepno, thank you so much for sending this in, man. I appreciate you so much. I love what you do. I have so much respect for what you've accomplished, man. So y'all please show some love to the family. Tepno right here in the chat. We're going to close it up. This is our last one. Bitlip, hop in the chat. Hot in the chat. Hop in the chat. Hop in the chat. Hop in the chat. This is our last one. Bitlip is in the chat. Let's get it. This is No Room by Bitlip. Give me all of the details. We're going to close it up right here. Let me put up my fancy schmancy, boom, close sign. This is the last one. This is No Room by Bitlip. Unmixed. Any production thoughts? My favorite stuff. Let's get into it. Last track of the day. Let me get it downloaded because it's going to chop up on me here. Production today. Okay, yeah, sorry. I was like, hold on. Production, yeah, got you. Same same format, right? I think you said if I'm remembering correctly, your boyfriend produces a lot of it. You do a lot of vocal production, stuff like that. Is that same or similar story, something like that? Cool.
Posing the flight risk, running the con.
Nice.
Sweat on the pavement that I was on. Holding too tightly, hurting my arm. Drawing through places I don't belong. I don't mean to make this about me or anything, but I need somewhere to let off all of this steam that's building up, and I get a hold of my
Nice.
breath now. Get it off of my chest now.
Nice. Good build.
Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch. Holding the space and holding the bag.
Y'all are crushing it. Interesting production.
Calling me names.
Me too, Tep.
Burning the flag. I don't mean to make this about me or anything, but I need somewhere to let off all of this steam that's building up, and I get a hold of my breath now.
This pre-hook is
Get it
great.
off of my chest now.
This pre-hook's awesome.
Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch. Get a hold of my breath now. Get it off of my chest now. Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch. This is iteration of fixation. It's an
Nice.
aberration and abrasion in the fabric of time. I don't need to make this about me or anything, but I am no room at the end, bitch. Trying to let off all of this steam that's building up, and
Hell yeah.
I don't mean to make this about me or anything, but I need somewhere to let off all of this steam
Literally.
that's building up,
I love it.
and
I love it. I love it.
No room at the end, bitch.
I love the controlled chaos of it too. Yo, show some love. Show some love. I know multiple people have told me to, Tep. I need to. Yo, show some love to BitLip right here in the chat. What a banger to close this out on. Let's run back into it. Let's get back into the structure here. But I really do. I mean, just like Libby's saying, that everyone's saying, I really do love y'all's production. It is interesting. It is engaging. It kind of keeps you on the edge. There's enough grounding elements to kind of know where you are in the song, and enough like twists and turns to kind of keep you on your toes, keep you on the edge of your seat a little bit, which I think is I think is fantastic. I know I need to, Tip. I gotta lock in. Maybe during tomorrow's workout. I'll put it on. But y'all show some love to BitLip. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details here, some production. There's a couple transitions I kind of wish were a little bit stronger. We can talk about production in those transitions, but y'all are awesome. Really, I think y'all's core intuition as producers, as writers, together, I think is fantastic. I really think y'all are gonna go far. Like, I just like the intuition that you have to like build up a bunch of energy and then break, boom, boom, and change the structure line in there. But yeah, there's a couple little transitions I'm listening for. But yeah, y'all are awesome. Yeah, like, you should definitely trust your intuition, trust your production leanings. I think and you also, I mean, I've heard 2 songs now. You also have a really clear aesthetic to your music. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing some great stuff. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details here. But yeah, I'm loving this. Really, really quick. Okay, so small detail early on in the song that I think will help with a lot of the other parts of the song. One thing that I tell everyone is to have a really, really distinct, and any song that you've ever heard or loved has two things: a really strong vocal hook and a really strong instrumental hook. That's what identifies the song. Some of that is just kind of baked into the sound of the song to some extent. This is a really simple, like 1, 5, 6, 4 progression as far as like numbers go. It's a really, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a perfectly fine. It's just what the progression is. It doesn't matter. The progression itself is really simple, just walking through those chords. And so I would love to have more identifiable elements of this song to where when this song kicks on right off the bat, not just the tone of the song, but what happens in this intro is identifiable to me. I would love like a lead guitar, super like just as fuzzy as everything else, super fuzzy, nasty, grainy guitar, or a super fuzzy, nasty, grainy, granular synth that has like a few note melody that just is like your lead line, your top line for this intro, maybe your interlude, maybe your outro, that is kind of a repeated identifier of the song. In addition to the no room at the end bitch line and all that stuff, right? Like all of the other lines that you have in there that are good identifiable vocal hooks, having both is what like solidifies a great song. Every song that we love has had both, where like the song kicks on, we're like, I know it's that song immediately because of this piano, this guitar, this synth line, this 808 that hits a specific way, in tandem with having really well-structured vocal that repeats itself as well. You have the vocal side in a couple different parts in here. I think that's great. I'm not worried about it, but the instrumental line I think could be really helpful. Let me run it from the top. And once again, it's all heavy on the low. So something high, distorted. I do think a lead, even if it's digital, you could play it, of course, but like a synth or a guitar that's just like a ooh, even if it was kind of a hold on, even if it was, oh, that's a drum set. If you went to if you did a chromatic walk, sorry, just. That could be nasty. So in this case, it'd be like the E, A flat or G sharp. The chromatic could be nasty. Okay, let me hear. Let me back this up. Now we're cooking. Now we're having fun. Okay. Oh, I like that. I like that so much. It's so gross. It's so gross. We have Ableton and Pro Tools over right now. Pro Tools, sorry, Jesus Christ. Pro Tools, hell yeah, let's go. Please do something. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Obviously, it's not my song, it's your song. Please do something like that. I need that G sharp in there. I need the G sharp in there. To me, it is so gross. It is so gross, and I love everything about it. I have to see something. 9 Inch Nails a little bit. 100. Yeah, that's true. I got to see something. Okay. Let me see. Where do I want to go here? Let's go. I want something kind of, I just want to open up a stupid synth just for the sake of it. And then I want to distort it to all hell. And I just want to see if it does what I want it to do. Don't do that, Jesus. Jesus, no. Okay, so let's really quick. I promise not to spend too much time. Woo! That's crazy. Let's bring down this LFO mod a little bit. Yeah. All right. I'm going to change this from a plate. Let's go to a hall. This is so gross. It's so gross. I love everything about it. Okay. But then here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. Then we're going to, actually, I'm gonna take off. This is fun, and then just do something similar, and it'll be great, and you'll be famous, and it'll be fun. Okay, let's. We're gonna distort this to all shit, and absolutely just obliterate this. I guess I could. Sorry, I guess I could. Wait, hold on. Oh, I don't have that plugin anymore. Hold on. I forgot to cancel that. Let's see. Nice, nice. What's up, Uniform? Good to see you. Appreciate you tapping in. Okay, wait. Which one do I still have on here? Okay. We can do it through air. We'll do it through air. It's crazy. It's nasty. Wild. That's crazy. Let's bring off. We don't need all of that. This is so crazy. This is so nasty, and I love. Okay. Bring up the bias. Okay, and then last thing I'm gonna do here, and I'll bring the output down. This is so wild sounding. And then I'm gonna go to a vintage verb here. I don't know how this is gonna sound, but we're gonna run with it. Okay. Jesus. Sorry, I gotta change the modulation here. Oh, dude, okay, hold on. I can't hit pause on Pro Tools and the song at the same time. I'm trying to change the cross modulation. This is driving me up a fucking wall. All right. Jesus Christ. There we go. And we're back. And we're back. And we're back. Okay. That was about to drive me crazy. Okay. Now, sorry, we're out of control. There we go. And then we're going to go here. And we're going to go to one of our tight, large snare gated reverbs. I do. And we're actually in the middle of our last one here, Uniform. We're going to be live again tomorrow afternoon as well. We're going to be live tomorrow afternoon as well, and we'll open up the line to some fresh consultations. I appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, last one. We'll be open up tomorrow afternoon. Okay, here's more. This is the texture. I'm going to bring down this output even more. Hey, you as well. That's all I want. That's all I want. It's like barely there. That's all I want. That's all I want. You can hear how fast we've landed on an LFO tempo match. Yeah. You could tempo match. You could go the 30 seconds tempo match. I just have it cranked. To all hell. Maybe even not. Having some intervals might even be better. Taking it off of your rate. Taking it off of the rate could be, or not off the rate, off of sync could be nice too, because it's going to make it feel more harmonic because it's not right on the grid. It's not going to be too machine gunny. This is all I want. B section here, this comes in. a version of this, but you can spend another hour working on synths. And then just and then you can also have little textures, other little elements in there. Spend days, spend weeks on it. Yeah, a little louder than that. A little louder than that. Maybe 2 of them. Layer it with a guitar. Like what could be cool is like have a higher octave right there. Have the lower one. Layer it with a guitar, doing that same nasty thing with a bend. All slow. Like there's so many ways you can do this. So many ways you can do this. Where you have like this top end over here. You have this little, you know, a little layer underneath it that makes it feel nasty and grimy and all of those things. That to me, like, what's up, Jenna? That to me marries a lot of these other, you know, production elements that you have. That to me is just so fun. It's so fun. Anyways, you get the idea. The main thing that I really like is that low G sharp. That low G sharp to me is where all the action is. And let off the gas. You'd have a little something in there with like a tape stop, right? Just bring in another. It doesn't have to be this one. This is a little abrasive, and you could layer that differently. But another little plucky something that kind of comes into the mix right there, kind of gate it up a little bit maybe, and then tape, and then shaves back down, going to the next section. So there's a little bit more of some form, however you do this, obviously up to y'all, but you know, some form of counter melody in the production to, you know, give it some back and forth there a little bit. So there's a little bit of like give and take between these elements. You have some synth fillers in there, the arpeggio on the right, little sequence there. You have some structure in there that sounds great. I wouldn't take away any of that. But having something in between there, whether it's a lead guitar that comes in or a nice punchy synth that fills in the gap right there, I think would be nice as a counter melody to the lead vocal. All right, let's get a little deeper. It's a cool song. I love this. This is getting my wheels spinning too. Back, you know. Break out. Have that come back in whenever that progression's there. This is a great, I love everything that I'm hearing here. If you layer more and you do some other fun stuff, you're awesome. This is a great pre-hook. It's a great breakdown right here. I like it a lot. This might be my favorite part of the song. But yeah, anytime you go back into that like progression again, I'd probably reintroduce some version of that melody or one or two of the layers of that melody, and then break down here completely. This is such a great interlude right here.
Get a hold of my breath now.
Love the feedback.
Get it off of my chest now.
Boom.
Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch.
This transition. This is the transition I think I was hearing earlier. This little, once you hit the no room at the end, this one's fire. This is a song I could see. This is a song I could see in a show. This is a song I could see in content. Like this is a good song. It's a great song, honestly. This right here, this little interlude right here, when you hit the no room at the end, I feel like, again, in my world, I either want to go boom, straight B section of the song and like no room at the end, and then verse hits like right away. We're straight into the next progression. We're broken down already and it feels punchy and really, really direct. And or we find a really strong, weird, interesting interlude right there. Just, I think, running back through the hold on the root note and the drums again, we lose a little steam for a second there. I think something needs to happen or nothing needs to happen, and then just go direct. So that's let me listen for that real quick.
Get it off of my chest now. Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch.
I'm like, if you did an early cut, and it went straight, can I zoom this in? I'm going to do this so choppy. Wait, actually, hold on. How could I do this? If you have 2 minutes, I'm going to destroy this for fun and just try. So I'm just going to try something. We're having fun. We're having a good time. Let's see. We were scared our last one was our best, and then we started working on this one. I feel that for like quite literally every production I've ever worked on. So you're thinking the right thoughts. All right, this is I got this in Pro Tools now. Let's do this. Let's do this for a sec.
Haven that I was on, trawling through places I don't belong. Where to let off all of this steam that's building up, and I get a hold of my breath now.
What's the you're on the session? What's the BPM? That'll make my life a lot easier. Yeah, I'm a fan of what y'all do. This is so fun. I got you. I'm not going anywhere. 94, beautiful. Boom. 94. 94 in the end, bitch. All right, sorry. Anyways, let's see.
Where to let off all of this steam that's building up, and I get a hold of my breath now. Get it off of my chest now. Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch.
Okay, let me line up this. Let me line up the intro start here real quick, and just make sure this is. I'm a mess, y'all. Obviously, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's a like. I can see the fashion transitions. I can see all the like. I can see it all. Y'all are gonna be fine. I'm excited for y'all. Let me line this up. Are you sure it's 94? Oh, why did it place it there? Hold on. Yeah, that's my bad. I was like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? It just randomly put 94 at like the end of my session. There we go. That's more like it. Okay. I was like, what is happening here? This is definitely not doing what I wanted to do. Okay. Now let's get back over here.
To make this about me or anything, but I need somewhere to let off all of this steam. Get it off of my chest now.
Okay.
Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch.
And so here's what I'm going to butcher. And we're gonna do just a tight fade.
No room at the end, bitch. Holding the space and
This is one of the two options, right? Either we go crazy for a moment, and here's what I would do. I would cut all instrumentation, and go just vocal, punched, stacked, like dry. No reverb, no delay, dry, saturated vocal, stacked. And then just straight into it. So this is
no. Take a rain, check and rest now. No room at the end, bitch. Holding the space
and then we're back. That's the concise way. That's like the pop radio way, where it's like super sharp. What about cutting the transition? And then again, if you cut all the instrumentation, we do this too. So now if we go here, so this is original 4. So we could do this. Let me see. Could go back another 4. It'd probably be easier to cut it from the other side.
rest now. No room at the end, bitch.
Yeah. So like that. So that's cutting in half. That's more, like I said, one of two options. We do a sharp transition and we cut and we go, we're straight in line, and you cut the fat of the song. Every transition is intentional and it's locked in. Or you go here and you do a half transition like you just said, and do what we have here. And in that 4 seconds that you're transitioning, a big synth comes in and does some kind of crazy little melody, or some guitar comes in and is kind of squealing at the top, and then something here. But I guess regardless of what happens, right, the actual creative thing that happens is, of course, just completely up to you and what you feel like is worthwhile doing. The idea is super intentional with the transition right there, and just getting it locked in and getting it super sharp. Okay, let me get back into the main structure here. What is going on? What is popping up on my computer right now? Why is my I don't know what's going on. Okay, one sec. Why is my Mac HD thing up right now? Anyways, okay, side note. All right, let's get into it. It's fun. I love interesting music. And I think, this is no shade to anybody who's ever made music before. I hear a lot of music I've heard before. And so it's always fun. And this is a massive compliment to y'all. It's fun to just hear a song that's just feels really fresh, a song I've never heard before, an approach I've never heard before, and it's not like I've never heard a fuzzy guitar before, right? It's not that I've never heard snappy drums before or an alt rock song, but it's just I haven't heard this message with this song with this aesthetic, and I just that gets me, if you can't tell, that gets me hyped, it gets me invested, and it makes this feel a lot more fun. Than when I've heard we had a live one time where literally I heard the same BeatStars lease in the same live, where I quite literally heard the same beat with two different artists on it in the same live. And so I spent an hour of the live breaking down the same song twice, essentially. And this is nice. It's a nice change. Okay, let's get deeper. You get the idea. Overall, shoot me a message on Instagram. Oh, Jesus Christ. Shoot me a message on Instagram. And I'll get back as soon as I can, and we'll touch base. But anyways, the whole point is sharp, strong, intentional transitions, lead lines, those two things to me: sharp, intentional transitions. However you do it, whether they're long and they're powerful, and/or they're short and they're concise, make them super sharp and intentional. And then lead lines instrumentally to make sure that you're carrying your transitions and your interludes, intro, outro, so on and so on. So let me get into the meat of the song here. We'll get into the outro, and then we'll be out of here. This is a great breakdown. Right there in the push that forward in between each of those right there, because that becomes your counter melody. Those little transitions right there, because vocal structure is awesome. It's super interesting. To be honest, I would end. Let me hear where it goes. I kind of want you to just end right there. Crazy hook, double hook. You got the guitars in there. You have a breakdown. You just bum, 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 bum. And then stacked vocal, punchy right down the middle with all of the energy of the rest of the song. Just dry up right there. No room at the end, bitch. Closed. End of story, end of song. Instead of tailing off, I think it goes another 16 seconds or something like that. I would love for it to have some level of restraint so we don't give too much away, to where you have to go back through the song again to get a little bit more. You know what I mean? In order to hear the rest of it and hear the breakdown again, you have to go again. Replay value, exactly. That to me, just a guitar thing for form. Okay, I'm here at the end. Yeah, that's pretty tight. I would love to end right here. So boom. This is strong. This is great. Great hook. Whoops. Hold on. Too early. Make this about me or anything, but I need somewhere to let off all of this steam that's building up, and I no room at the end, bitch. And then, the drums come in right there, so really tight. But yeah, right there, especially because you thin out the guitar. I love that. Thin out the guitars, single track left side, vocal strong in the middle. And then, I know, but it's super close. It's super close. It's just like I go too early and it just says bih. It's like the censored version of it or something. This is BIH. And if I go too long, I hear the drums hit again and then I'm pissed. And then my OCD is telling me I need to go back and listen again to try to not get the drums. And then I'm stressed and we're here for the next 45 minutes trying to get this one hit right. It's not even my song. Anyways, you get the idea. You get the idea. I got to get out of here. My brain is crumbling. It's crumbling in front of us. I love. Okay, here's the rest. This is what it does after that. Did I miss that the last time too? That there was a cat purring in the background? I think I totally missed that the last time. I mean, I like that. That's great. But yeah. I mean, I love a cat purring in the background. I think that's beautiful. I know Libby would be upset. Be like, hold on, fuck. Now I know what to do. Anyway, it needs to be somewhere. It could be in another song. It could be whatever. Y'all are fun. I love the way you approach. You seriously, you get me hyped about music. You make me want to create, which to me, that's like the biggest compliment I can give. I genuinely love what y'all are doing. You get my own creative wheels spinning, and it makes me feel, I feel like I got a second win. I kind of got woken up out of my slumber here. So I love and appreciate what y'all do so much. I think y'all are fantastic. Hopefully we can connect, work together in any capacity, at all, even just creatively, collaboratively. I think it'll be so much fun. I think y'all are awesome. So man, y'all please show some love. I know the lives wound down a little bit here, but if there's anyone here in the chat at all in any of the different platforms we're live on, please go check out BitLip. I think y'all are so fun. I think y'all have such a great approach. Syntax, yes you are. We're gonna be live again tomorrow afternoon. We need we do absolutely 100%. It'd be so fun. Well, so fun. Just fuck around on synths all day. It'd be so fun. Yeah, best double date on the lid. Hey, y'all are awesome. Yeah, see all the DMs. I appreciate y'all. Seriously, love what y'all do so much. Y'all are fantastic. For those of you who don't know, we're doing these live consultations nearly every day. I just do them after my projects in the studio for the day. Synthrax, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate the follow. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon, hopefully a little bit earlier, like 2 or 3 p.m. for about 4 hours or 3 or 4 hours or so. So definitely tap in if you want to get your consultation and get some songs heard, revisions heard, whatever it would be. We'll break down your production. We'll break down mix and master. We'll get into the details of the structure of your music, so on and so on. If that's interesting to you, definitely make sure that you're following either on YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok, like we're live on right now. And we'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening. Hopefully we'll see y'all soon.